Will I sing the BMO song about B theory? It's so weird that you I'm certain that it's about B theory too. Actually, I don't know. I came to that conclusion when I was doing like college debate. Um, I love that song. That song is great. Time is an illusion that helps things make sense. Let's see. Okay, cool. Yeah, we found it. All right. So sorry. Okay. Cool. All right, excellent. Let's go to the very next guest.
Nigger.
I think the saddest thing is that person waited like seriously the entire last conversation. Like they waited like a fucking hour. Imagine being that smelly, that much of a fucking pathetic loser that you have an hour of time to waste waiting in a queue to like scream slurs, especially as like a 14-year-old, you know. I think that their parents should be sent to like a gulag or something. All right, let's go to the next guest. Nope, maybe not. Maybe not.
Yes, bro.
Oh,
Anyway.
you gotta be 18 or older. God damn. If you're not 18 or older, don't request to join. Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
Yep, how old are you?
26.
Yep, what religion?
I'm a Christian.
Yeah, what makes you think that God exists?
Well, I'd like to ask you, what do you mean by isn't real?
I'm saying that he doesn't have like some sort of non-fictional existence, that all the senses that you might want to say that God exists in are like mind dependent. Like, you know, God exists as like a fictional character, but he doesn't exist as like a non-fictional character, something like that.
Okay. Does the reason for this conversation exist?
The reason for,
Like,
are you asking me like, do I have like a reason
No.
by
Like,
which
is it real? Like, is the reason why you're formulating sentences, is that real?
Are you asking like in terms of like a causal explanation? Like, is there a causal explanation for why I'm forming sentences? Or
I'm not talking about causal explanations for why you're forming sentences. I'm asking, like, is the purpose for which you are forming your sentences? Okay, let me try this. Is your family real?
Is my family real? Yeah, my family's real.
Well, how can we check that?
I don't know why my family being real would depend on your ability to check it. I don't think that you need to be able to check that my family is real for my family to be real.
Why not? Well, then
I'm not going to dox myself. Is this supposed to get me to like dox myself? Like, I'm not going to do that.
No. Okay. So, like, by this standard, we can say that Jesus Christ is real because the church is the body of Jesus Christ. Would you accept that
well,
explanation?
I agree that Jesus Christ was like a real person that really existed.
No.
What I disagree with is the idea that he was God. And that would be like one of the fictional, like that's like damn near like metaphorical.
I'm saying like the members of your family are real, like are existing persons, but like, is your family itself real?
Like the
concept of your family.
Oh, I think like the family structure, that I think that's probably going to be like mind dependent.
Okay. Okay, so that's mind dependent, and I suppose that the reason for why you're doing this debate is also like mind dependent.
Yeah, I think all reasons are mind dependent. I don't think that there's such thing as like a mind independent reason.
Okay. So like the reason why you get up from the bed is mind dependent, and I don't know, like,
where else would reasons exist, right? Like,
well, but it isn't real, and like the blueprint like by which your house was built is also like mind dependent.
Oh, sorry, wait. So to be clear, No, I would say that those reasons are real, insofar as I think that that's the only place that the mind or like reasons could exist.
I'm a little bit slow. Could you please expand on that, or like say it
Yeah,
again?
I
Or...
think that reasons are like essentially mental. So
Okay.
what specifically when we ascribe like existence to a thing, there's going to be like certain objective facts. Okay, there is an objective fact that we are motivated towards specific things even when we act rationally. A typical account of what a reason is something that's rationally motivating. So insofar as we find ourselves to be rationally motivated by some things, that would mean that there's like some sort of real causal agent there. But
not only like for the like not all the actions in the world are motivated rationally. Would you agree with that?
yeah, of course.
Okay, so the like rational dependency like cannot be the...
Wait, sorry, are you gonna give like an argument for God's existence, or are we just here like playing like word games?
Well, I'm just like trying to find out like why, what do you mean by like God isn't real, and like why your like family, the structure of your family would be real, but like God by that standard would not be real.
Yeah.
we-
Well,
we-
wait.
we
So
are-
I agree. Like, there's some sense in which like the structure of my family is like fictional or like a social construct. But
Okay,
typically, when people
that-
when people are saying like God is real, like the people I'm trying to argue with, those people think that God exists in a way that isn't like socially constructed.
Okay, so like you think your family is socially constructed?
I think that like the structure itself, like these roles, like father, mother, and their like social meaning are certainly socially constructed. I don't know if I think that all concepts are socially constructed. I might think that, but certainly I think like the social world is going to be socially constructed. That's like trivial.
Sure. All the concepts are important for you to act in the world, isn't it? Like to do anything at all, like literally anything at all.
They certainly help us navigate the world.
Like help us navigate the world, or like you could you
Wait,
do
sorry,
anything?
are you... Listen, bud, if you don't give like an argument for God's existence, I'm just moving on to the next guest.
This is an argument. Like I'm saying that you cannot do anything without the thing that you say are not real.
Okay, moving on to the next guest then. All right, hey, if you're in that guest request box, make sure that you're 18 or older. Make sure that you believe in the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran, and that will go to the very next guest. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, hello. I'm just, it's my first time and I have autism, so I'm not sure if you can even hear me right now.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, how old are you?
Okay, perfect. I'm just gonna stop my fan too. I just need to understand a little bit. I understand pretty much everything. It's just, so we're trying to understand if God isn't real, and then you said that it was in terms of as someone who's not like as someone existing in this real, like
I would say like
in
God
this
isn't
realm.
real in the same sense that I'd say like Superman isn't real.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Because okay, so the way I see it is like we have a lot of neurons in our brains, and they all have to communicate with each other to make anything possible, right? So it's like
Anything with
whenever
respect to like our brains possible, sure.
sorry, can you repeat that?
Anything in our brains possible, sure.
Yes, exactly. And so the way I see it is why Jesus is God or why I am God is because
Huh?
it's like we are.
Wait, you're God?
Well, everyone is.
Oh,
But
when you
in
say
my- in
God,
my- in-
what do you mean?
It's like I am the entity of my body, and so everything that is in my body is like just a fragment of me. But
Are
it's
you
still
using
me.
this definition in a way that like nobody else uses it? Because I agree, right? If you want to change the definition of God, if you want to say like, well, God is like that tree, then you can certainly say that God is that tree. And under your sense of the definition, then God would exist because all you're saying is that that tree over there exists. I just don't think that that's like an interesting sense of the word. That's not the sense that I'm claiming he isn't real in.
Okay, well, it's just because with my autism, I only understand what I understand of the concept of this, right? And then since my spiritual awakening, I was just trying to give how I see it, but I wasn't able to finish.
Okay.
Do you mind? It's
Well,
gonna be
wait,
fast.
so it's not even clear that we disagree because I agree that, I agree that I exist.
Yes.
So if you're saying that, if you think my claim is that I don't exist, that's not my claim.
No, I'm not. I'm not thinking that you're not existing. I think you're existing.
But do you think that that's when I say God isn't real, do you think I'm saying that I don't exist?
No, I don't think that.
Yeah, exactly. So then you'd just be like equivocating on the term. Do you disagree with me in like the sense that I mean it? Like, do you disagree that there's like a mind that created the universe?
If there's a mind that created, yes, I think there's a mind that created this universe.
Yeah, what's the
That is
argument?
creating it.
What's the argument that that thing exists?
What is you're saying? What is the argument that God is existing? Right? Is it? Am I understanding well?
Yeah.
It's okay. So I can't answer this in terms of you have perspective on this that I'm not sure if I can answer the question the way you wanted me to answer it, because I don't have this type of way of thinking, maybe.
Do you have any evidence for God's existence? Just like something that makes you think that he exists, that makes it more likely?
Yeah, exactly. So can I finish just what I was saying? It will come to this.
Well, but it sounds, so here's my reservation is that it sounds like you're equivocating.
What is that?
You're swapping in your definition for the term such that we're like speaking past each other. If what you mean when you say God is like a thing with a body, well, and under that definition, like you're God and I'm God, but then I mean it in like a totally different sense of the word, then we're just speaking past each other. Like we need to be using the same definition of the term.
You're right. Okay,
do we disagree with respect to the same definition of the term?
But I'm not sure what's your definition then.
Like a mind that created the universe, something like that.
But why would it contradict with a physical body? Like if he would have a physical body and we would be like one
because
neuron.
Physical bodies are in the universe?
Yes. Oh, okay.
So he would have to create himself?
Yeah, but you have to have I have for me to have intellectual or any thoughts, I have to have a brain. It's physical. Like one doesn't exist without the other.
The theist probably wants to reject that.
Why?
They would want to say that there's immaterial minds because God is an example of an immaterial mind.
An immaterial. Okay, and so where would it exist then?
That would be a category error. It doesn't exist in like a specific spatial location. That's not what it does.
So I'm not sure to understand completely. So you're saying that
I think I'm going to move on to the next one. Make sure you're double tapping on that screen, sharing it with your friends, doing all that good stuff. If you're in that guest request box, make sure that you're 18 or older. Make sure that you believe in the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran. I also ask that you have some sort of reason to think that God exists.
Hello. Hey.
Hey, how's it going? How old are you?
It's good. I'm 44.
Yep. And what religion?
I'm a Christian.
Yeah. What makes you think that God exists?
There's love.
Okay.
And and so it just doesn't make sense without God.
Okay, I think it does make sense, I think that there's like a perfectly reasonable explanation for that. Easy explanation. Love is good for evolutionary reasons.
Yeah, I can understand that. But there's places where I see that it doesn't make sense even from an evolutionary standpoint.
Like what?
Well, like taking care of people that are, can't take care of themselves. Like obviously babies, that perpetuates human existence. Sorry for the noise back here. I'm just
That's
getting some
okay.
gas. But thanks for taking my call too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
There's very much an explanation for the thing that you just said. Like the evolutionary explanation for why people take care of babies is because they are literally the spreading of your genetics. The genes that would cause you to not take care of a baby, well, those genes wouldn't get spread because your babies that, you know, had the genes that caused you to not take care of them, those babies just would have died out.
yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, that makes sense, but what about like those that are like handicapped, for example?
Sure. It
Things
depends on
like
the
that.
circumstance. Like, could you give me like a specific circumstance? Are you is one of these people related to the other by blood? Because there's good evolutionary reason why you'd be taking care of people who are related to you by blood.
So yeah, so let's just say that they're not related by blood, and it's more of just a human to human type of thing. Like,
It's
hey,
like a
I'm not
friend
related
that
to
you're
you, but
taking care
just
of.
not even a friend. Like, I mean, I could give you like maybe a
I have
personal
no
example would be,
idea what the circumstance. So you're just taking care of this person for no reason.
so here's an example. Get your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
So a personal example is some friends and I from church. We took care of a guy who didn't have any family, and it's like 83 years old. He was immobile to the point where like one time he actually fell and he couldn't give up and actually sat there for a day or so.
Mhm.
So that's how, so he needed a lot of help. And, you know, we're young guys at the time. We could have been out doing a lot of other things that made a lot more sense. And, you know, like, like, so we did that. And it's not to say, oh, we were so good, but it's more to say like, hey, like logically,
Yeah.
that's kind of a waste of time, you know?
Yeah. So
But there's an aspect where it's not, that it's not. Like
yeah,
that.
I think that one of the evolutionary features that that would have is that you're improving your like social cohesion. I mean, humans live and die by our social structures, and we have lots of different social mechanisms to restore order. You know, there's, I mean, I don't know, there's like self-interested reasons, like rational reasons about like the society you want to build. Also, the fact that all of you are Christians. I think that the things that you believe are going to impact the sorts of like relationships that you form or like the ways that you behave. So it just seems like there's kind of a lot of explanations for this.
Yeah. I mean, and that's one example. Like maybe I'll push this example. This is kind of like a surface example, but I'll push the example to its like maximum illustration, which would be the person of Jesus dying for not committing any crime, but dying for the sin of the world. And so that's like the maximum or ultimate picture of a sacrificial love.
I don't grant
Basically
that that's why he
condescend.
died.
Okay. Well, what do you think?
I think
What do
that
you
he was
got?
like a dude that got killed, and there were a lot of dudes that got killed. You know, tons and tons of people got crucified at that time.
Okay, so you're basically saying, yeah, I get what you're saying. You're saying that he just kind of died.
That he was
Basically, he got
killed.
killed.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the Romans crucified tons of people. I think they crucified like millions. I could be mistaken, but let me look that up.
Yeah. So the reason, I mean, basically, we agree that he did get crucified,
Yeah.
but the reasons and the impact of that is kind of what we disagree on. Like from my worldview, I'm saying that he died because it was a sacrificial love that
Mhm.
a sacrifice that he did. From
Do you
your
have-
worldview, you're just saying it was just kind of a thing of the times. He, you know, he pissed off some people and he got crucified for it.
Yeah, there was like a ton of people who got killed. I don't know. There were people who were even claiming to be the Jewish Messiah, and they got killed. People like the Egyptian, for example. There was like an entire string of people claiming to be the Jewish Messiah. And to be clear, I don't even know if I think that Jesus was claiming to be the Jewish Messiah.
Yeah. What do you think about his disciples though, that also got martyred for spreading the news and basically not benefiting from that, except as an act of love
Yeah,
to do it? Like, or if you even believe it is an act of love, but like I'll take the act of love out. But just what do you think about his disciples and the martyrdom, the martyrs that died and all that?
A couple of things. So it's not clear what any of them actually end up dying for. It's not clear. I think at best, like the evidence that you end up with, you might end up with the conclusion that like not Paul, that Peter died believing the resurrection, like maybe. But then there's just going to be like equivalents of this in other religions. So for example, there's like Hindu priests that died proclaiming to have seen the Hindu gods and had experiences with the Hindu gods, and then they were willing to die at gunpoint to people who were demanding that they repented of their testimony.
Were those people like, I didn't know that. Can you give me like
Yeah.
some people that I
Yeah,
can
you
look
should
up?
look up Shanti Kali. He's a Hindu priest who saw visions of the Hindu gods, and then there was like a Christian terrorist group that held him at gunpoint and demanded that he convert to Christianity, and then he didn't, and then they killed him. So he had every reason to repent of his testimony, but he didn't. Whereas it's not even clear that. So I think that there could possibly be evidence that Peter believed in the resurrection but it's not even clear that he was given a chance to like recant his testimony.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, well, as far as Shantu Gali, I'll look that up. Thanks for that information.
Yeah.
And as far as Peter goes, so, I mean, like, I guess it depends on the sources that you're using for that, and we could get into that, but I don't think that. I think the point is, with the logical reasons that you have for why love is, they make logical sense, right?
Mhm.
So from that, you're kind of saying, because of that, we don't have to have God to kind of say love is logical. Like, I don't think that that's the way we live our lives, though, in real life. Because for you, I'm sure you have loved ones in your life, girlfriend,
Yeah.
family. And so when your girlfriend says, I love you, if you guys say that to each other, you're not giving her like a string of reasons necessarily, or maybe you are, but what do you think about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, what
Actual
love
real life
is
part of it.
like a feeling, and there are lots of things that cause it, and what determines what causes it and what doesn't cause it ultimately is going to come back to like evolutionary pressures. Like evolutionary pressures cause you to feel love in some circumstances towards some individuals. We feel lots of love towards people who we see as in our in group. We feel lots of love towards people in our families. We feel just tons of love for a wide variety of people, and there are evolutionary reasons for that.
So like, if there was a hierarchy to it, you would say the hierarchy is that evolution is above love. Like, love is a byproduct of evolution.
I don't
Is that
know if I'd say
correct?
that there's a hierarchy. Like a hierarchy of what? Like what are they being ranked by in this hierarchy? I don't know if I'd subscribe to this view.
Like a hierarchy of the motivate, like, so
There's
yeah,
like
that's a good
a
question. So,
causal link between them. Like the circumstances in which we feel love is going to be caused by evolution. Like evolution certainly explains why we feel love in the circumstances that we do.
that's what I mean. Yeah. So you're saying that evolution causes love, the evolution produces love.
Basically, yeah. The circumstances, like the organisms that are going to feel love in certain circumstances, yeah.
So then that love is based on the evolutionary pressure to, well, I guess, what's the evolutionary pressure we're talking about? Is it like
So
procreation, or?
broadly speaking, it's like survival and reproduction, but different species survive and reproduce in very different ways. So for humans, the reason why we feel so much love towards so many different things is because we live a very social life. So, and we live like a very reflective life as well. So we have reasons why we feel love in a lot of like social circumstances, even towards things that don't seem like they're related to survival and reproduction. But the reason for that is because the groups of humans collectively that survive and reproduce are going to be the ones that have love for each other.
Yeah, and I guess that's what. So, why do you think if it's about survival and like reproduction is part of survival, right? It's under that umbrella. Um, so if it's about that, then why are people? What's the deal with sacrificial love, where people are willing to sacrifice and then ultimately even die? You
Yeah,
know,
it's
because
because
that's
it's for the
against.
good of the collective.
So the good of the collective, like I guess with those with the martyr situation, um, do you feel like that was for the good of the collective, or like I guess how do you reconcile somebody dying in that, or even with Gali
Uh,
dying?
yeah, so I think that the behaviors that we're going to undertake are going to be based on our beliefs that, of course, like if you believe that just going through this death is going to bring you towards like your eternal afterlife, well then certainly under those circumstances you're going to be willing to die for the things that you believe in order to achieve like the greater circumstance. But also, I mean, it's not even clear to me that um like the martyrs for Jesus like sacrificed themselves as opposed to just being executed. I do think there's a distinction there. You know, it's the question of first of all, I don't even grant that there's like any evidence at all that any of them, other than like maybe Peter, actually like died believing in a resurrection. But even with Peter, it's not even clear that he was sacrificing himself as opposed to just getting executed.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can grant you that because you know I think that part of the reason they died is because they were speaking what I see as the truth in a world system or a system that rejected that and saw it as dangerous and obviously um, killed them for it. So did they lay down their life? Well, in a certain sense, yeah. In another sense,
But
they went against.
do you have evidence for that thing that you just said? That like the disciples, broadly speaking, were going around professing the resurrection?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the Bible historically, or you look outside of that with historians like I think like so I might get this name wrong, but um Juvenile. Um, so you can type that in, but you could do a quick search and say what what is the historical evidence of disciples um being martyred for proclaiming the what's called the gospel of Jesus Christ.
So okay, I think I must have the wrong Juvenile, because this one, like the Roman poet, maybe it's like one of the other ones.
Yeah, it might be another one. I think that's the name of the guy.
Um, okay,
I might
so
have that wrong.
doesn't seem to be any mentions of Jesus here. Um, also, he's like a satirist. He makes like satires, so I don't think that this is the one. But
Oh,
um,
Josephus. Yeah, I
Josephus,
think it's Josephus.
yeah, Josephus doesn't mention anybody dying for a resurrection. He doesn't even mention a resurrection. He mentions like there's like a dude named Jesus who had a following and did like startling deeds, and then that's all he says about him.
Really?
Yeah.
yeah, I'd have to look into that to see that. I mean, so let's just so if getting off of that because I can't really speak too like in depth about that, but I need to go back and do research.
Mhm.
But I'm more so speaking from um like and I'm not and like I know that you will probably reject biblical historical evidence, so you're going to look for like more of a secular person um to speak on whether or not the martyrdoms happened. But let's just grant that they did. I mean, did that even affect your perspective? Because it seems like you kind of are saying that it doesn't.
So
You know, even if we did show
can you
that.
ask that question one more time?
Yeah, sorry, I went on a tangent. So even if we grant that the disciples um were indeed martyred and gave up their lives for the proclamation of the gospel, does that affect your position at all, or do you have
Yeah,
a
yeah,
reason
probably.
in spite of that?
Like if
Really?
you're telling me that all 12 disciples were like martyred for the resurrection, then I don't know. I think that that would be like pretty good, like pretty great evidence for you know, the existence of God or that Jesus is the Messiah. I do think that there's like still really good evidence against it. You know, for example, I think the problem of evil is horrifically hard to deal with. Like kind of famously, the idea that there's
Yeah.
all this like tremendous suffering in the world, but it's governed by a God who's maximally good, maximally powerful, maximally knowing. It just seems like that sort of being would be opposed to this sort of suffering.
Yeah, and that's a problem that the problem of evil is a tough one, and admittedly, and I've listened to you like on YouTube, like on a short, but you gave an example of if there was a button that could cure cancer,
Hmm.
and would you push it, and why doesn't God push it? Because he's all powerful, and I think that kind of scenario that you give um, is alluding to the problem of evil. Is that correct? It's like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, this is like a form of the problem of evil. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could run you through like the line of questioning. Do you think that okay, if you had the power to make all cancer disappear right now, instantly, forever, do you think doing that would be the right thing to do?
Man, that's a good question. So I would say that is so if I have a button to press,
Or we could
obviously
say like
that's the right thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We could say that. We could say like
But
you have the power to, but yeah, yeah. Either one. It's basically the same question, but yeah,
Yeah, I think that that's the right thing to do to cure cancer for
yeah.
sure,
Does
or
God think
to
that?
eliminate it. Yeah.
Does God agree? Does God think that that's the right thing to do?
I think so, ultimately. I mean, obviously in this moment right now, is it happening? No. But ultimately, uh, yeah, for sure.
So it just can't be the case that God thinks the right thing to do is to cure cancer forever, because otherwise cancer wouldn't exist. That means that right now, at this time, curing cancer can't be the right thing to do. Otherwise, God would have done it.
Well, I mean, I think like then we're getting into a whole different bag when we're talking about this, because what we're assuming is that God is. I think you're assuming. Are you assuming that God is in time like us, and he's moment by moment has this button at his disposal, or what?
Not
I guess.
necessarily, just that for this argument, I'm just supposing that God can act at times, that God can will specific things at specific times, which is like definitely what the Christian is committed to. Otherwise, it's not clear why Jesus rose from the dead. It seems like you would have to say that God willed for him to rise from the dead on the third day, that God acts at specific times.
Yeah, definitely, I agree with that for sure.
Yeah, so
I think he acts at certain times.
yeah, God hasn't acted at this time to cure cancer, though. So it seems like that action can't be the right action.
Well, the right action at this time, or the right, or, like, I guess you're saying the right action at this time.
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
yeah. Because
Okay,
I
so
would think that
that's
I think that pushing the no cancer button would be the right action at this time, but clearly God disagrees with that.
yeah, yeah. I think that there's two senses that you can answer that, and they're both partially. Both of them are dependent on time. Because if you're talking about God, who, if you if you grant or make the assumption that God is outside of time, even though I know you're saying, hey, I don't believe in God, but
Mhm.
if you say that God is outside of time, then he's operating from an ultimate sense, and he enters into time, or he affects, he does things in time.
Yeah.
So for example, is it a good thing that, like, so, and this is kind of rhetorical, but just to kind of try to untease this point, is it a good thing that everybody is fed and nourished? It's like, yeah. Is it a good thing that anybody goes hungry? No, but we do have periods and cycles of hunger, and we have periods of eating, and that's just our natural day. And we have there's time for crops to grow. I mean, should crops just sprout up instantly? I mean, I think there's a lot of farmers who are trying to make that happen because that would be awesome.
It's not
But
even clear
there's
to
a
me
cycle
that
to
we
it.
would. It's not even clear to me why God would want us to eat anything at all for energy. Like why we couldn't just get energy automatically, or like from photosynthesis or something. Like it's
Yeah.
just very not clear to me that.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's like millions of people that die each year from starvation, and I know that this isn't like is like kind of like a side point, but
Yeah.
you know, I don't mean to like derail, but this also
No.
is something that I don't think makes sense. The idea that this is the form that God chose, the form where we need to eat food, as opposed to like a form where the energy is just like automatically like renourishing to us.
Yeah, I mean, like I appreciate that, just that statement, even though, like you said, like it's maybe a little bit off subject, but I appreciate it because like you're consistent in your worldview with that. You know, like I think that if somebody were to say, "Oh man, you know, we have all these wonderful foods we get to enjoy and we get to cook them and smell them and all this, and that's part of our enjoyment process, but there is no God," then to me, I'm like, well, that seems like contradictory because there's a seemingly illogical unnecessary beauty to smelling the food and seeing it and preparing it. And why don't we just have a pill like the Jets, like, you know, I don't know if you know the Jetsons, but
Yeah,
why don't we just have a pill where you can just pop it and you have a whole meal, right?
yeah,
Like, and I mean, not to say that wouldn't be a good thing, but there's a certain sense where taking the time to be at a restaurant and smell what's being prepared and all that stuff is like a beautiful experience, but it's not logical because it's time consuming. And so, yeah, your worldview is consistent. I appreciate that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think that I'm obviously going to say that there's like an evolutionary reason why we find certain foods appealing, certain foods unappealing, but then there also seems to be like strong like cultural influences to that as well. Like, I don't know, I think haggis sounds disgusting. It's like fermented oats and like pigs or like lamb stomach or something. Like that sounds like revolting to me.
Oof.
But, you know, Scottish people love it, so it seems like there's like cultural elements that factor into things like aesthetic appreciation.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm all about that. I mean, you know, my grandma used to make chitlins and stuff, and that's like pig intestines. So
Mm,
I'm with you on that. Yeah, exactly. And I don't like it, but you know, like
yeah.
culturally, that's a thing. But I mean, yeah, you know, like I think that to try to answer your question, I do think that a lot of it depends on God. It seems like God is a God of revelation when I read in scripture. And so the way things like there's like a timing and a cycle to the way the world works. And I know that you're like, what I'm saying here is I'm granting that there is a God. And
Mhm.
so, but I'm saying, hey, with the way that the world is structured, it's not totally logical to me. Just to your point with eating, like
Yeah.
the way that things kind of come about, if I was to design something very optimally and basically like a machine, then it would be churning things. I wouldn't have unnecessary stuff. But
Mhm.
I think that's where we're kind of trying to figure out those unnecessary things. Does that harken us back to God, or is that part of something that you can define logically and basically say this is part of an evolutionary structure that motivates us to behave like this and for the world to be like it is and all these things.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Nah, man, that was a good conversation. I appreciate it, and
Yeah.
thanks for having me as a guest. I'll look into
Mhm.
Dolly. What was the first name again?
Shanti Kali. He has a
Oh, I
Wikipedia
got that one.
page, and then there's
Shanti
like
Dolly.
some like crank site about him and the things that he's done. And I think there are also like some articles about him. But yeah. All right. Thanks so much for coming on up. Appreciate you.
All right, you got it, man. Have a
Yep.
good one.
Yeah. You as well. Hey, I currently only have a single person requesting to join. Pretty sure they're a troll. But make sure if you want to debate this topic, it could certainly be you really, really soon. Just make sure that you're 18 or older. Make sure that you believe in the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran. I also want you to have some reason to think that God exists. I'm also willing to debate like a deist or whatnot. Garbage Man, thanks so much for the super chat. Chat with Brandon hit an amazing argument. God's love for me is contingent on him making me, but God is love, so that's an essential property change. I think so. It depends whether or not you can love possible objects. The theist might even bite the bullet and say that God does have love for you regardless of whether or not you exist. I don't know, but I do think that that's like an interesting one too, which is that, yeah, I mean, there are certain feelings where these feelings have like objects to them, like, you know, there's like an object of our love. And I think you can probably love things that are possible or love things that are non-existent, but it seems different to love something that's existent than it is to love something that's non-existent. Stripe 10 Ball, thanks so much for super chat. Have you heard of hypertime hypothesis? It seems to place God in a larger time frame rather than explain true eternality. I'm familiar with that. That seems to commit you to saying that God is temporal, that he's like a temporal being. All right, let's go to the very next guest. It's gonna happen. We'll see. Can apologetics Christian? Is it gonna happen?
Hello?
Hey, how's it going? How old are you?
Good. I'm 24.
Yep.
Can you hear me fine?
Yep. And what religion?
I'm a Christian.
Yeah. What makes you think that God exists?
I think the miracle of Our Lady of Fatima.
Okay, yeah. Do you want to give details?
Sure, yeah. So apparently 30,000 plus people were gathered at this one location in Portugal at the Cova. There were multiple appearances of Mary originally to these 3 shepherd children. These shepherd children were told that there would be this one miracle that would occur on October 13th, 19th, 17th. And the people heard it. They were interrogated, saying, hey, if this does not come about, there will be severe punishments for you. So even, for example, one of the children, the mother was threatening her, was willing to publicly humiliate her if this does not come about, but they were firm. And prior to the actual event, they were instigated concerning the events that happened already and the upcoming events. And there were various testimonies from people saying that the children were psychologically stable. So Dr. Formigao was one of the persons, if I remember correctly. I don't have my notes in front of me because I'm driving, but and then the actual event is where there's this kind of miracle with the sun, multiple colors.
Yeah.
It was raining, but then suddenly it got dried. And yeah, of course, there are many objections, but that's the basic.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things to say about this. First, my understanding of this is that only the one girl actually claims to have been able to see or talk to Mary, except on the day when there's like the 30,000 people. But then it's just so strange that exactly what happens if you stare at the sun too long, you know, your vision gets like flashy and like blurry, and there's like colors like dancing around kind of, you know, it's just so strange that the miracle, what they saw is that when you looked at the sun, you know, Mary was there dancing. You know, it kind of seems like one might think that, you know, this is just kind of what happens if you stare at the sun for too long. It seems like also there are people there who report not seeing anything at all. I don't know. It's quite strange.
Yeah, so I think that those are really common objections, and they're good objections. So like addressing your first one concern.
Hello?
I might have briefly had it earlier, you know, just staring at the sun just for a little bit, trying to get some sun. And you can definitely see that there are after images. And this is actually one of the objections that come forth from Scott Alexander, who is a skeptic against Our Lady Fatima. But I think that there are plausible explanations for why this is still a miracle and that the naturalists cannot explain it. The number one reason being that these witnesses were literally saying that they were able to painlessly stare at it for 10 minutes straight and the miracle of apparently the sun, quote unquote, dancing, or some people described it as trembling as well, and about to crush the earth. People thought that it was going to be the end of the world. What's key? Yes. What's key is that they were able to stare at this for a real long time painlessly, and there was one testimony of a man who actually explicitly tried to close his eyes, turn away, and he actually looked back, and he was still able to see the I guess the different colors that were there. And and what's key is there was a study done. What was his name? I forgot his name, but it's a peer-reviewed study where the man was examining the various photographs that we have concerning Our Lady Fatima. The degree of that light source in the photographs would have been, I think, 27 to 30 was the approximation that I remembered. But according to our historical data, it would have been more like 40 to 42, if I remember right.
Wait, sorry. What are these units of?
I'm sorry?
40 to 42 what?
In terms of where the sun was angled towards the people in the images.
Oh,
And
wait, so what?
yeah,
I don't know what the relevance of that is.
yeah. What I'm trying to show that this is, I actually don't think that it's the sun itself. So this is a position that is taken by Ethan Muse, and he's one strong proponent of this apparent miracle.
Wait, can I
So
get
he
the
takes,
peer-reviewed source that you're claiming?
let me see. If once again I'm driving, if you go to Ethan Muse, I don't know, if you type in Ethan Muse, or could it be? Actually, I think it might be in Scott Alexander. If you type in Scott Alexander, Our Lady Fatima, it should pop up one of his blogs, and if you click on it, try to search for Control F degrees, or degree or
Wait,
degree.
is there like a study, or is it just like blog posts?
It's a study. So Scott and Ethan cites the actual study that was done.
Okay, let's see
So
it.
yeah, it's a position that I think that is very esoteric because not even a lot of Catholics know about it. That being that most likely it was not the sun itself. But either way, this light source caused
So
hundreds
it's
and
not
thousands of
there.
people.
Is it here? Degree. Wait.
It could be in Ethan Muse's.
Yeah, I'm
fault for
not
not
finding
having
this
that.
anywhere in terms. So I Google Scott Alexander, Fatima, sun degrees, and I'm not seeing anything.
If you type in Our Lady of Fatima, he has an article on it. And if you click in that article, and you can do Control F to see if
Which
you can
article?
find.
I'm pretty sure Ethan Muse has multiple about this. So
Yeah, I don't remember, to be honest. I don't want to. Yeah, there are a lot of details of this that I think it's a little bit tough to bring forth every
well,
single piece of evidence.
well, it just seems like
But
okay in terms of like how we account for 300,000 or for like 30,000 people or however many thousand people seeing Mary looking at the sun. You would agree that there's like a naturalistic explanation that makes like total sense about this.
I would say that initially, prima facie, yeah, sure. But the problem is they were saying that they were able to stare at this painlessly for 10 plus minutes. That's a
So
big problem for the naturalist.
Well, like an easy solution to this is that our pain tolerance is changed by a lot of social factors. Like, for example, your pain tolerance massively increases if you're able to say swear words. I imagine your pain tolerance also probably increases if you hold like certain beliefs about what's going on, or if you're in like social groups. I find that my pain tolerance increases when I'm in like social situations. But I could probably find data to back that sort of thing up anyway.
Okay. What data would you have concerning that?
Yeah,
Or
let
are
me
you
let
saying
me
like
find some.
okay?
Pain tolerance increased in group. Yeah, you get significantly increased pain tolerance in group
Okay.
activities.
So you would say that
Or easy.
um
Oh, this is super easy. Wait, does a feeling of awe increase pain tolerance? I feel like it must.
so that means that you can stare at the sun for 10 minutes.
Yeah, if you think that you're seeing like the mother of God, like probably. I don't know. Like that seems plausible to me. That if what you're seeing is like, if you think what you're seeing is like something that's like life changing, like once in a lifetime, earth shattering, the most important thing you'll ever see? Probably.
Okay, so in response to number one, I would say that there were multiple skeptics there as well who reported seeing the same thing painlessly. And number two,
What about the
even
ones
if I
that didn't?
granted, I'm sorry.
What about the ones that didn't?
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. So even with the ones who were eager to believe, the second point is, actually I lost my train of thought. Well, the second point is they were able to stare at it without going blind.
I guess like how long
So
does it take for
so
blindness to set in?
there was a study done. Darn, I don't have the notes once again, but I think, man, it might have been in Ethan Muse's article, but
So
no, I think it was Scott Alexander actually. I think where where there was a Catholic, if I remember, his Catholic. He was a Catholic. He tried this experiment on himself. No. There were multiple scientists who tried this, and one of the men actually became blind from the experiment.
I'd be
And so
interested in
they tried to
that.
stare at the sun for a really long time.
Yeah, so from what I'm looking at,
Yeah.
it says pretty straight up that it's extremely rare that anyone ever goes blind from staring at the sun. That it's gonna fuck up your vision like pretty immediately. Like your
Or
vision's not gonna do well. It's gonna have like some damage to it, but like typically, no, you can stare at the
so why
sun
don't the
and there might be permanent damage, but you're not gonna go totally blind.
okay? So why don't the people report even damage? So I'll even grant you that, right?
How do you know they
For
don't?
10 minutes staring at the sun, because they don't have reports of it. They literally are saying that endlessly.
But how do you know that at like some future
So
date, like if
not
at
just
some
we
future
stare at
date
it.
their eyes were damaged and that they did experience the damage of this event, how would we determine that?
Well, it's been double digits numbers of years ever since the event, and yet none of them are coming out and saying, "Oh, actually, now I have pain." I think that we should go with a more rational or the more probable conclusion that actually their testimony back then
Wait, but
are
what's
still
the evidence that none of them have claimed
you know,
this?
dead nowadays.
Have you looked through all
No,
of
I'm
like
not saying none of them. I'm
like
saying that
do you speak Portuguese? Like have you looked through the original sources?
I looked at the original sources, and
Do you speak
obviously I
Portuguese?
don't speak Portuguese, but
Okay.
there are certain translations. If you want, one document is critical documents of Fatima or PDF English. There's
Citation of Fatima.
Google it, and it's really nice. There's another one.
Oh wait, let's go one at a
His
time because
name,
this appears to be a
I,
Christian source.
sure. It's a PDF that's a Christian source.
I think so. It
That was
seems to
not the one
be.
that I was looking at. Well, okay. Well, what is it? Can you describe how it looks like in what you're at?
Yeah,
Like,
it's so
what is?
okay, so it's specifically the manufacturer of this or like the publisher of this is the Sanctuary of Fatima. It makes you wonder about its
Okay.
allegiances or like its like interests.
Is there a PDF or
Yeah.
is this a website?
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you're on?
Yeah, it's a PDF on a Slate Star Codex, and then it takes me to Fatima.pt, which maybe is like Portugal, probably. So
Okay. And what's the article's name or the PDF's name?
critical
Like, is it critical
documentation of
documents of Fatima?
Fatima, selection of documents 1917 to 1930. Where can I find
Yeah, it
all the
could be the one that.
documents?
Yeah, it's just basically if you're looking at the right one, it will go into details concerning the people's testimonies. And if you really want a secular source, you can go to O Seculo. This is a very popular news source in Portugal during that time, and they are actually anti-clerical. They were more they're
Wait,
definitely
I'm
not
sorry. Wait, is
religious.
there a place where I can just read all the documents? Because I'm interested in looking at like all of them, not just like some selection of them.
What do you mean by all the documents? Like all
Okay,
the
so
testimony?
the critical documentation of Fatima, selection of documents. So they've taken like a specific assortment of documents. Is there a place where you can just look at all of them?
I'm not exactly sure like what kind of document, like what kind of selection of documents they mean. If
This
they
is
mean
the
by
source you
testimonies,
cited.
I think that. Yeah, I know. I cited that to show you certain testimonies. I never said exhaustively.
Oh,
If you
okay.
want more sources, I can provide more.
Well,
But you
I'm
said to
interested
stick
in
with
like looking
one.
at the sources that wouldn't be like compiled by like Catholic Church. I mean, if what we're trying to do is
Sure.
evaluate whether or
Osecular.
not people felt eye damage staring directly at the sun for 10 minutes uninterrupted, or even if that's what they actually did, you know, not everybody stared directly at the sun for 10 minutes uninterrupted. You know, that's going to be, we're going to need to be able to actually look through the documents.
Well, I think that would be an assumption to say that nobody would be staring at it for 10 minutes uninterrupted. The reason
It's
that
going to
this
come
is a
down
miracle is that
to
precisely
the
that they did
individual.
that.
So we need to look at the documents for the individual.
Sure. So I would say that you can look into
Do you have,
Oseculo,
wait,
and you can see certain testimonies there.
oh, I don't want like a cherry pick selection of testimonies. I just want like
Wait,
wherever
so
the
an
documents
atheist,
related to this case are.
an anti-clerical source is cherry picking?
Oh, sorry. What sort of sources? Well, okay. Anything that's anything
I've
other
been
than
saying
like the entirety
Oseculo.
of the documents, then yeah. I don't know. I'm not interested in like some like cherry picked selection of it. I'm interested in just like the place where I can find the documents. Clearly,
Awesome.
people have
And
access to it. You said that you've done a lot of research into this. Can you just tell me where to find the documents relevant to the case?
like I said, I don't have the exhaustive list of people who testified to certain things. If you want, you
That's
can
not
even
really
go
what
to
I'm
Scott.
asking for.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what you mean by all the documents then.
So,
What do
okay,
you
they're
mean by
taking a
all the
selection.
documents?
What are they taking a selection of?
I'm assuming testimonies. So,
Okay, and
of
do they
course,
have
out
the
of
rest of
a
the
sample of
testimonies listed
30,000 plus
somewhere?
people, right, out of a sample of 30,000 plus people, of course you're going to only have a selection of testimonies. That's what I'm assuming what they mean by selected documents. If you want a non-Catholic source, go to Scott Alexander, how much he grants that were real legitimate testimonies that he dug
Wait,
down.
I don't want the appeals to authority. I just want like a place where I can go and like verify this stuff.
Wait, how is it an appeal to authority?
I don't care if like some
you wanted
atheist thinks
somebody who is
so.
not Catholic.
I
giving
will
this,
wait. Sorry, wait. I want like the
selection.
documents.
I'm glad.
I want like the firsthand sources. That's what I'm asking for. I'm not asking for you to tell me about like an atheist who's willing to grant like a lot about like the miracle of Fatima.
Well, the atheist himself quotes these people giving their testimony.
Okay, do you have like a place? Okay, if you don't have a
Well,
place for the
Scott
documents, then maybe I can
Alexander-
just give you. Wait, sorry. Maybe I'll just give you like the argument for why God can't take actions if Catholicism is true. So, do you think that God acts for
I
reasons?
think that's a red herring.
You think
Honestly, I
it's
think that's a red
wait,
herring,
you don't
honestly.
think you think
Wait,
God
Ian.
cannot take actions but still do a miracle? You think God can will a miracle even if he
Ian,
can't will things?
I think that it's a red herring.
You think it's
honestly.
okay, sure. So
I'm actually
let's
really
say God
surprised
has
that
zero causal
you're
power.
so
You think
being
God
so
could
blatant
cause
about
this
it.
if he has zero causal power? You think a thing that's causally inert causes things?
I think that this is definitely a red herring, and you're being very.
You don't
blatant
think
about-
it's
I'm honestly
relevant as to
really
whether or
surprised.
not God can cause things, as to whether or not God
it's
caused
definitely-
this? You don't think that is
Wait,
like
it's
relevant?
like it's like me
This is
asking
like,
you. Wait, how do
is
you
this
know
like
you
the
have
level of
knowledge?
dishonesty? Like I feel like we switched to like I feel like you were trying to be like decently honest at first, but now I feel like we've switched to like total dishonesty mode. Like you need to be able to acknowledge
How is
that if
it
God can't
dishonesty?
cause things, then that means that he
Wait,
couldn't have
no, of
caused
course
this.
God causes things.
Oh,
Of
okay,
course
wait,
God causes
sure.
things.
So then
Of course
you would just
have
need to
knowledge.
rebut the
Now I
argument.
ask you, how do you have knowledge?
Oh, are we like pivoting away? You're running?
Exactly. Do you see how? Oh wait, but you don't see how that's relevant to. If you don't have knowledge, how you do
Yeah,
know?
which
How do you know
thing-
that God
which-
cannot cause things?
Oh, I can demonstrate that to you via proof if you'd like.
Okay, but
Yeah, if
before you
divine
give the proof, how do
simplicity.
you know that
Oh, he
you're-
doesn't want the
how
proof.
do you
Oh
know-
no.
how do you
Oh,
know
that's
that you're
sad.
speaking
That's too
English right
bad.
now? Right. So knowledge
Yours-
is one thing, but
let
it's
me-
also
let me break
related
this
to
down
you
for
speaking
you.
in English. Do you see how red herring that is? Sure, they're very very remotely related, but that's
Okay.
not. That's not.
Well, you would agree
Like,
that
can
in
we
order
stick
to
with Fatima?
evaluate a
Are you being
hypothesis
like
as
that,
likely, it would need to at least be possible, right?
Wait, so Ian, what do you have to say about Our Lady Fatima, where you have hundreds, if not thousands, of testimonies about them being able to stare at the sun painlessly This haven't been
Source? Wait,
prophesied.
source that there's hundreds of thousands of
Scott
testimonies?
Alexander O. Sekulow,
Scott, wait. Let's
it's meet the witnesses themselves
wait. So
by
specifically, what's
John.
going to happen? I'm
You
going to write
also
down
have
your exact
you also
claim.
have the
I'm going to
critical
write down your
documents of
exact
Fatima.
claim, and then we're going to find and verify whether or not that's your exact claim. Okay. So your exact claim is that there are hundreds of thousands of
No. I
testimonies.
said hundreds,
Oh,
if not
blunder,
thousands.
big blunder.
Wait.
Okay, sure. So
Wait,
walk
you
it
did
walk it
not-
right on
wait.
back. It was a ridiculous
I
claim. I
said-
don't know why you would make it in the
I
first
said
place.
hundreds, if not thousands. Did you hear that part?
Then God's did you not say hundreds of thousands?
I said hundreds, if not thousands.
Okay, wait, hundreds. Okay, sure, that's fine. Whatever.
Wait.
So
Wait, are you being
hundreds
serious or
of
not here?
hundreds of documents. Sure. Where are the hundreds of documents that
Oh
I
my
could
goodness.
see?
You are not being serious, right?
Okay, where are they?
You are not being serious. If I said originally there were 30,000 plus witnesses, why would I make the claim there were hundreds of thousands?
That's what I was confused about. I was confused that you'd be making that claim either.
Maybe you should ask. And
That is
maybe
what I
you
asked,
should
and then
assume
you
that
kept
maybe
on
I
like
misheard.
yapping.
No, you
Okay,
didn't.
but whatever. So
No, you
if
didn't.
divine simplicity is
You
true,
made
then
the claim.
God's action is identical to his intention.
It's a red herring. Are you serious, Ian?
If God takes intentional actions, then God's action is grounded in his intention.
So I guess you can't.
A thing
can't deal with the
cannot
miracle?
ground itself.
You can't deal with the
Therefore,
30,000 plus witnesses.
God
even
cannot take
skeptics,
actions.
lawyers, mathematics.
Wait, do you
those
want
who are
to
in
engage with this?
mathematics.
Wait, sorry. Do you think a hypothesis
How about
needs to be
yeah.
possible? Your hypothesis is an
How about you
impossibility.
engage-
It says it on screen. Your hypothesis is an impossibility.
Those who are
You need to
skeptical-
reject a premise.
How about people not expecting anything
He's not
and
gonna
yet them
engage.
seeing it?
He's not going to engage.
Are you serious?
Do you think a hypothesis needs to be possible in order for it to be likely?
Of course, but I think that this is a
Sure,
red
but if your
herring, honestly.
hypothesis is
To be honest.
impossible, then obviously it
What do you
can't be
mean, sir?
likely.
Wait, what? If it's possible, obviously it's not likely?
No,
be
that's
likely,
not what
you
I
said?
said. Ooh, blunder. No, if a
Wait, wait, wait,
hypothesis
wait.
is impossible, then obviously it can't be
no, I
likely.
said it's possible. No. I
You
maybe I
said back
misheard.
to me
I
something.
was
Yeah,
saying
that's
possible.
fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
So
but
if
but
your
I'm not
hypothesis
sure
is
why
an impossibility
you're,
because God cannot take intentional action,
you do realize this is a red herring, right?
it's not a red herring. We're disproving
It
that
is.
God could have taken this
Most definitely.
action.
And it's just in front of the
You're-
people who are watching.
You're
you right now.
literally
Like, how
saying
are we
that one of the
discussing possible? I
presuppositions of
think
your
we're saying from
hypothesis
God
is
on
that
act.
God caused this. Like that's literally your hypothesis is that God took this intentional action. If God can't
Wait,
take intentional actions, then your hypothesis is dead in the water.
Wait, so you don't have anything to do with Our Lady Fatima then?
Wait, I do. This is the disproof in front of you.
So
It's
Your
literally
disproof
on
of
screen. Are
hundreds of-
you
yeah.
Okay, do you just wanna engage, or-
witnesses. Yeah. So you. I'm
you're
just
like
to be clear, your
short circuiting. You're
disproof-
short circuiting back through the dialogue
your
tree.
disproof of
That's really
hundreds of
sad.
thousands of
Yeah, if
people
God can't take
witnessing-
intentional action, then God couldn't have performed this miracle, obviously.
Awesome. So it's like you see an amputated limb in front of you, just literally grow back, and then your response is,
Oh, that's a new claim.
I
You're
don't
short
think that God
circuiting.
can cause this, so
Oops, sorry.
I'm not going.
That's a new claim.
Yeah, I don't
If
think you're
God
serious.
cannot take intentional action, then
How much
God
copium is this? Are you
cannot
serious?
cause Our Lady of Fatima. Therefore, God, if Catholicism is true, then God
So,
cannot
what claims
cause Our Lady.
Can you respond to
Fatima.
my objections, man?
Wait,
By the way, I'm
yeah, this
tired
is
of
literally
this
the response in
entertainment.
front of you. It's
I
the
don't think that
response
that's
to your
pertinent to the
objection is
actual
literally
miracle
written
itself.
out, formalized in front of you.
Awesome. So can you naturally explain Our Lady Fatima or the apparent miracle of Our Lady Fatima?
Yes, you can. Wait,
Given
but you have a
facts I have
rejection. Wait, sorry,
given you.
wait. If you think that your hypothesis is possible, you need to like grapple with this objection.
So let's imagine that we're both naturalists.
He's never
So
okay,
how would
sure.
we as
So,
naturalists? So how
here's
would
gonna be
we
the
as naturalists
question.
try to explain Our Lady
The
Fatima?
question is just going to be very simple. It's going to be, which premise do you reject? We got premise 1, if
So
Catholicism
watch
is
this. Watch this.
true, then divine simplicity is true. Premise 2, if divine simplicity is true, then God's action is identical to his intention. Premise 3, if God takes intentional action, then God's action is grounded in his intention. Premise 4, a thing cannot ground itself. Premise 5, if God cannot take intentional action, then God cannot cause Our Lady of Fatima. Therefore, if Catholicism is true, then God cannot cause Our Lady of Fatima. What's your answer? Which premise do you reject?
Once again, to be honest, it's a red herring. You can kick me if you want, but
Once
I
again,
appreciate
it's a red
I appreciate you
herring.
keeping me
You
entertained though.
can kick
I
me
was tired before driving,
if
man. To be
you
honest.
want. Thanks for keeping me entertained. That you
Hey,
think
bro,
that's
I
a
like watching you
premise?
though, Ian. To be honest though, I do like watching
To
you
be
because I think you're
honest,
pretty
I
charitable.
like watching you. You're pretty
Like the
charitable. You
previous
think?
conversation
Wait,
I
you
was
think this is
listening,
like a
bro.
premise that you reject? You think so?
I
So
think
to
that
the question, which premise do you reject for the argument
I
that's
know you.
formalized on
know
screen
you
in
don't-
front
you
of you?
haven't
Your
done-
answer is, once again, it's a red herring. You can kick me if you want. Thanks for keeping me entertained. To be honest, I like watching you. You're pretty charitable. Just tell me which premise you
Yeah.
reject.
And I mean that, bro. I mean that. You know, I say this with love, man. Maybe. So here's the thing, Ian. Right? Genuinely, sincerely, I don't expect this to be your area of expertise, and I don't expect many Catholics to even know, you know, the little details concerning this matter. But what I would say is that after having examined this, actually, I've been a Catholic for maybe 6 years now, and literally just the last month examining this has increased my faith by so much more because I try to be rational with my faith as well. So, and I think that you're a rational guy. You try to seek what is reasonable. But what I think my intended goal here is to expose you and others to the possible pieces of evidence that we have concerning this apparent colossal miracle that would be very significant if it were true. I
Okay.
think that these armchair objections are not going to par with hundreds or thousands of witnesses in such a manner. How
Wait,
is
I just
an-
wait.
how
I'm
is
so
a
sorry. I
national
just want to be like
movement
clear
so-
about the stance that you just took. You think the conclusion that if Catholicism is true, then God cannot cause Our Lady of Fatima. You think that that has zero relevance to whether or not God is the cause of Our Lady of Fatima?
No, I think that it has some kind of remote relevance, just like
A
my
remote relevance?
my-
You don't think
just-
it's
yes,
directly
just-
relevant? You don't think
just
it's
like-
literally
no, it's
presupposed
not
by your
directly
hypothesis?
It's not. That's why I've been saying that's a red herring. And here's my
Wait, if God can't
Since-
cause Our Lady of Fatima,
Wait,
then can God
I
be
can
the
say-
cause of Our
Ian,
Lady of
Ian,
Fatima? Is that a viable
I can say the
explanation if God
existence-
can't cause it?
I can say that existence is related to Our Lady of Fatima remotely, right? If nothing existed,
I agree.
there's no God,
I agree.
there's no human being to even witness it.
No, I totally
But it's
agree.
like-
So if
it's
you had like
like-
an argument that
Ian.
established that existence didn't exist, then holy shit, like the entire hypothesis that I'd be defending would be defeated.
You'll be surprised. I've talked to certain people in Oregon, and I don't live in Oregon anymore, but you'll be surprised at things that they say. So, and of course, in Oregon, Portland specifically, there are a lot of atheists. So I don't really care about all these in my opinion, maybe you disagree, there are these remote objections.
I don't know what you mean
what
by
I'm
remote
saying is, can
objection.
we
Like,
deal
I'm
with
sorry
the
that the
actual
objection shreds the position. I'm sorry that you don't have a response to it.
No, I don't say that I don't have a response to it. I just don't think that it's pertinent to the topic.
I think it
So-
is, right? If God can't cause Our Lady of
So I guess-
Fatima, then your hypothesis
we're
is
gonna have-
false.
We're gonna have
Do you
to
wait? Do you
disagree on
understand?
something that's
Wait,
not even
wait.
our
Can you just
response.
acknowledge that if the conclusion of my argument is correct, then your hypothesis would be like deductively false?
Yes, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
mean,
sure. Then it is relevant.
Yeah, if.
Yeah, this is potentially a disproof of the
It's not,
the
wait, that's
supernaturalist
like saying,
explanation.
Okay, that's like saying if existence doesn't exist, then that means that Our Lady Fatima never was true. Okay, I'll
If
grant
existence
it,
doesn't
but
exist,
I
then that
never said
literally
existence
follows.
does
That's
not
like
exist.
trivial. Yeah, like trivially, like nothing would exist if there was no existence. Obviously.
So that means to discuss. Say for example, because I see you on the panel with homosexuality a lot, right? And I would actually like to speak with you concerning this matter. I actually think there's a
Wait.
good philosophical proof from Dr. Alexander Proust concerning this. But
Wait, sorry,
that's
before
like
you
me coming into
pivot
your
away.
panel, and the topic of the day is, homosexuality is not wrong. And then I pop in and then I say that your view of epistemology is wrong, so therefore we're going to be discussing this, even though your topic is on homosexuality. For me, that is remotely pertinent. That is definitely not that's definitely not approximately pertinent to the topic. So I would not expect you to engage in a conversation with me if I were to do that.
So,
And I'm thinking that what you're doing is very similar.
well, first of all, I engage with people in that type of conversation literally all the time. I've had people come up on my panel and do that to me literally all the time. And you know what I do? I engage with it because I'm not a coward.
Okay, are you implying that I'm a coward, I guess?
Yeah, right. Like you're like directly like sprinting
No,
away from the argument at top speed. Yeah.
No, I think that you're is legit a red herring, honestly.
How could it be a red
Yeah.
herring if it disproves your hypothesis? Like that's like
Because it doesn't deal
antithetical
with
to
the
being a
actual
red
evidence,
herring.
and it doesn't deal with
It
the actual
does.
evidence. And
It
even
deals
if-
with the
no,
hypothesis itself.
And even if I grant you, watch this. So and even if we were both naturalists, what kind of a rational explanation can we give for Our Lady Fatima?
Wait, oh, if you want one, I could give you one. If I give you one,
Awesome.
would
Given
you
all the data,
address
we're
with
gonna
the
finish that up.
yeah.
Let's see
Would
if
you
we can
address
finish
the
that up.
objection if I gave you like an explanation for it?
If we can finish it up, sure.
Yeah. Would you agree that axiarchism is a naturalistic hypothesis?
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's the hypothesis that the universe is like disposed towards goodness.
And this has to do with Our Lady Fatima.
Yeah,
somehow?
for example, maybe you want to
Yeah,
say
I'd be-
maybe
I'd
you want to
be
be like a
surprised.
naturalist, like an axiarchist specifically, and then there's just going to be some timeline wherein these events take place because the total timeline is good, such that it exists. You know, all the
do you mean
timelines
by
that
that?
are net good exist. That's a timeline that's net good. Therefore, that timeline exists.
So are you implying here that anything that is good exists?
Under axiarchism, you'd be saying that all the timelines that are net good exist. So that would be a potential naturalistic explanation for you.
What? How does that even relate to Our Lady Fatima? So people,
Because the
peasants,
timeline under which
would-
this takes
wait,
place would be
so-
net good.
So somehow that is related to peasants and lawyers and
Yeah,
mathematicians.
wait, do you think
who are
the-
skeptics.
Do you think the timeline
Right?
is net good?
Somehow seeing the
Oh,
sun
you're, like,
dancing in the
terminally
sky
not
trembling,
tracking.
people
That's too bad.
are- Yeah. Apparently,
He
I'm
wasn't
not
expecting the
tracking your-
naturalistic
your very-
explanation, so now he's like
your
freaking
very
out.
remote-
Wait, can you summarize back to me what what the explanation even was? Were you listening?
Yeah. I don't see how it's pertinent. You're saying that.
Wait, did you just not listen?
You're saying is it okay if I finish what you're
Okay.
trying to say, right? So in summary, you're trying to say that in the timeline in total, it would lead to some kind of ultimate good, right? And it
No,
would lead
not
to
even.
that good. What do you mean no?
Okay, you didn't listen. I'll say it again. So axiarchism is going to hold that all the timelines that are net good are going to exist. So it's just going to say that there's this timeline where Our Lady of Fatima takes place, and that this timeline is net good.
That were required for goodness. Deduct all the taxes, aka the badness in the world, and then you get this net good. Awesome, right? So that's why
Yeah,
I mean
across
by
the entire
ultimate. So my
timeline.
ultimate pay for this month is $3,000.
But to be
That's my
clear, there
ultimate
doesn't
pay.
need to be like a greater good that comes from this event specifically. There would just need to be within like across the entire timeline, like enough good under the axiarchist framework.
So okay. So are you saying that there's no net good that came out from Our Lady of Fatima? So therefore, Our Lady of Fatima.
I didn't
never
say that
existed?
either. You're like critically incapable.
So that's what I'm asking you, man. I'm asking you what your argument is.
Okay, if I summarize it for like the 5th time, are you gonna get it the 5th time, or will you need it like the 6th time?
I don't think you even brought up the argument. I think that you
Okay,
brought
I
up
gave the explanation that you asked for. I know you
net
didn't
good.
know what to do, so this is what you
I'm
have.
trying to see your
That's kind of sad,
implication concerning
but you know, so you
Yeah,
asked
so I
me
guess
for
you
the
can't deal with
naturalistic
the
explanation. You
evidence,
said that
but-
if I give you the naturalistic explanation, then you'd engage with the argument. I gave you a naturalistic explanation
Also, I
for
don't
it,
think
and
we're
you
finished
won't
with it,
engage
though.
with the argument
I don't
still.
think we're finished with it. You don't get to run.
Okay.
You don't get to run with your
So
own
wait,
argument.
so I gave the explanation. What's your critique of it?
I don't think that you even gave the conclusion.
You think an explanation has a conclusion? You think explanations are arguments?
I think that you were proposing an argument, no?
No, it's an explanation.
Were you
That's
proposing
what
an
you
argument
asked
or
for
no?
an explanation, so I gave you the explanation. No, it's not an argument, it's an
Yeah,
explanation.
and were you okay? Awesome. So with that explanation, was it an argument?
No, explanations aren't arguments.
Why the silence? Awesome. So in your specific example,
good? Are
of
you, like,
an
freaking
explanation,
out?
Was that an argument?
No, it's an explanation.
What do
It's
you
like
mean,
a story.
dude? The silence is really loud, Ian. Why are you hesitating?
Are you
was
good?
your specific explanation a kind of argument?
I don't think I'm hesitating. Are you good? Am I lagging?
Hello.
I've answered this
Checking.
question like 3 or 4 times. Are you hoping that the answer is going to change?
I don't think you answered it. So, was your explanation an argument?
Do you want me to write the answer out? I can write the answer out.
Oh, sure. Well, I mean, I can't even look at it because I'm driving, but sure.
Okay, it's on the screen. No.
So just no. That's
Yeah.
that's it.
You asked a yes or no question. That's the answer.
Awesome. So yeah, I don't think we're finished with it though. So you can't really deal with the
Wait, so what's your critique
colossal
of the
miracle.
explanation? You have a, I mean, we gave a naturalistic explanation for it.
Hey man, Ian, I did not crash this whole time driving, even though I'm tired, and I'm happy, man. Thank you for the funness, honestly, seriously.
That's really cool. Do you want to like engage even a little bit, or you know?
Yeah, I did engage on the Our Lady Fatima miracle, and seems like you
Which
have
premise
no
do
answer
you
to it.
reject? I mean, I gave you first of all a naturalistic explanation. Second of all, demotivated your explanation. And third of all,
I don't think that there was
countered the
even a
evidence itself
conclusion.
earlier in the discussion.
so-
I don't know if you forgot
so-
that.
Yeah, I don't think that somehow having the net good in timeline somehow relates to Our Lady Fatima not having been.
Do you think
a
this
real
timeline is a
miracle.
net good timeline?
What do you mean by this timeline? What is
What
this?
is this time? You don't know what timeline you're
Yeah.
living in?
I mean, like, are you talking about the
Like the
timeline of Our Lady
timeline,
Fatima,
the
that kind
sequence
of
of events,
or
like
are you
the sum
talking
total
about the whole
sequence of
timeline of the whole
events.
universe?
You don't
Yeah,
know
that's
the
exactly what I
timeline that
mean.
you're living in?
So the timeline that I'm living in, or are you talking about the specific
The
category
timeline
of the
that
timeline
includes
of Our
the
Lady
moment
Fatima?
right now.
That's why I
You know,
asked
the
you, what do you mean
sequence
by
of moments
this?
that includes the moment that is right now. You know,
Yeah,
that timeline.
of course, I think that this timeline exists, including the timeline
That's
of
not
Our
even the
Lady Fatima.
question. Are
If
you
you
stupid?
if you think that, so
Are
so
you
by
like
the way,
physically incapable
way,
of not of like tracking like the
Ian,
question?
Ian,
I feel like the
so I'm
questions
not
are
sure
not
why
that
you're.
hard.
Hey man, to be honest, bro, I think that you were charitable earlier. What happened? I don't think I
You
did
just
call you
can't.
that.
You can't engage with this at all, right? Like you refuse to engage with the
I did.
argument.
I
You
did
can't even
talk.
like listen
Wait,
to
you're the
the
one who
question. You
provided
can't
this
even
red
listen to the
herring.
answer.
It was.
I don't
It
know.
was
Like you're just not really
It was
interested in
very blatant.
engaging.
So, I think that the people can realize for themselves. By the way,
I think that people
when I
are
was on
planning
that
on
freeway,
you.
yeah, when I was on the freeway and how you switched up on that topic, I still remember the little silence that was in between that. When you literally switch up concerning can God do things? Can God have action?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
because I
I
gave
think
you the
that
counter
was
to the
pretty
evidence.
obvious
You
when
wouldn't
that
cite me
was a
any
red
like
herring.
sort of real evidence. Wouldn't tell me where to find it.
So just to be clear, you can't deal with Our Lady Fatima.
Oh no,
It's a
we
miracle.
can. The way that we're dealing with it is literally on the screen. It's literally right there in front of you. Maybe you're illiterate, which is why you don't
By a
realize
red
that
herring.
it's literally on the screen. The disproof of Our Lady of Fatima.
By a red herring, man. By a red
That's
herring.
wait, sorry. What do you think a red herring is?
It's a distraction from the actual argumentation.
Yeah, what's going to be the argument that it's a red herring? So let's actually get it syllogized
Wait.
even. So I got premise 1, premise 2. Therefore, God's ability to cause things is a red herring
Yeah, I think that it's a red herring
to
because,
Our Lady
only
of
remotely
Fatima. Wait.
relevant.
Sorry. Wait, so what's premise 1 for the conclusion? Go
Only-
for it.
I think that it's only remotely relevant, and I
it's
take
only
things that are not red herrings
remotely
as things that are
relevant
approximately
the-
relevant.
Topic. And then what's premise 2?
Oh my goodness, why is this person driving like this? Are you serious? I'm gonna pray for that person,
You should be
and I'm
praying
gonna
for
pray
yourself.
for all the atheists. So
Do you want to give premise 2?
I always pray for myself, man. I think I already did. So what would I say? But all the arguments or all instances of non-red herring argumentations. Yeah, I literally forgot.
Okay. So it seems like you don't have an argument for thinking that this is a red herring. What does it mean for
no,
something
no,
to be
sorry,
remotely
my bad,
relevant?
my bad. All instances of arguments that are not red herrings are approximately relevant. There we go.
Arguments.
That was what I said.
All instances of arguments that are not red herrings are approximately relevant.
By the way, English is my second language, so
That's fine.
excuse-
The argument's
for the
invalid, but it's like kind of close to valid. So maybe we'll say that it's fine. Okay. When you say remotely relevant, what does that mean?
I take it to be not relevant enough. So there are degrees of relevancy.
Yeah, remotely
to the
relevant
argument.
means not relevant enough.
So, for example, I'm saying that that which is remotely relevant is not relevant enough in terms of the degree of the standard that I have. Well, I'll give you an example, right?
So
With
it's
my
just
example
subjective.
of
Is it
somebody from
so
Oregon
whether
claiming
what is a
that-
red herring, what isn't a red herring is entirely
I think that to
subjective?
some extent, I think that to some extent is subjective. Yeah, I don't think that.
Okay,
there's a
so
specific
you're going to rely on you
criterion that I can put
subjectively
forth
not
for it.
wanting to engage with
And-
it because you subjectively don't want to engage with it. You're
Wait,
declaring that you don't
but,
have
but
to.
according to you, isn't it also subjectively? Wait, so would it be subjectively relevant to the Our Lady of Fatima topic for you to be talking about net pay or my
Net
bad,
pay?
not net pay?
You
net
asked
gain?
me, yeah, you asked me
Net
for an
gain?
explanation that is directly relevant. I don't think that that's subjectively
Yeah, so
relevant
what's your
because
argument
insofar
that
as
it's
that's,
relevant?
yeah, because if you provide a hypothesis that accounts for the data, then the hypothesis is relevant for the data, relevant to the data. Axiarchism provides a hypothesis that explains the data.
Yeah, well,
Therefore, it's relevant
I
to the
think that
data.
one other thing. Yeah, I think that one other thing that we
Oop,
should take
brutal.
note of is the
Zero
dialectic
response.
at the time. So yeah, I think that one other thing that we should take note of is the dialectic of the time and the limited time that we have to talk. So
I
that
think
means
that
that
you
we
should
would
just
not be able
engage
to
with the
speak on
argument.
multiple topics at a time. I think that you should stop providing your red herring of an argument.
Okay, I know that you don't want to engage with it. I can't blame you for not wanting to engage with it. Unfortunately, it is on screen. You know, it's just like what this
Come argue,
replay
not
will
write the
show
evidence
is
of
you
Our Lady of
refusing to
Fatima up, bro.
engage as soon as things got like a bit too technical for you.
Oh no, they were not technical. I just think that I'm not gonna let you.
Which premise do you
run from the Our Lady
reject?
Fatima miracles.
This isn't. I'm running
Yeah,
into you.
I just-
I'm running you over, frankly.
I'm just gonna hold you by the tail, man.
I'm
gonna
running
hold by
into
the
you.
tail. What?
I'm running into you. I'm almost
man, that
running
sounds
you
weird.
over, basically.
Bro, to be honest, that sounds weird. You're
Running
running
into
me,
you?
bro. What do you- Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
You think it
that
sounds weird to say that I'm running into
Yeah,
you?
yeah,
Maybe
I
I've
think
just
it
ran
does.
into you too
It-
hard and that your brain is like completely
I think
fried,
that's
so
weird.
you can't
Yeah, I
engage
think
with
that's
it.
weird, and honestly, I think that homosexuality is a sin and is wrong.
And you think,
philosophically
do you think that
speaking.
that's relevant? to
If
Our Lady
you
of
wanna go
Fatima?
with your standard, if you want to go with your standard, apparently that's relevant.
Okay, so if homosexuality was wrong, why would that
I
make
would
Our
say
Lady of
no.
Fatima true?
According to your standard, that might be relevant. I would say no. For me, subjectively, because I try to be fair.
It wouldn't be
in my
relevant to
ways of
mine
reasoning,
either,
I would
because
say
that
no.
doesn't have anything to do with the
No, I would think
hypotheses
that
or
in
the
your
evidence.
in your criteria, whatever that may be, it
I've
would
given
be
it to you
relevant.
multiple times, but I've slammed you so hard that you have a concussion, which is why you don't remember it.
I wouldn't use the word slam in the
I
context
would.
of homosexuality, which you defend.
No, I would be using it in terms of like the dialectic of
defend
this
it?
debate that you got like
Do you defend it
dialectically
or no?
devastated, frankly.
What do you mean no? You don't defend homosexuality? I thought you do.
No,
would
I
not use
do.
slam.
This is just like a blatant
I think it's
pivot.
weird.
Right, this is like
I
a
think it's
pivot that has
weird, bro.
nothing to do with the topic. It has nothing to do with Our Lady of Fatima.
so-
Wait,
so-
sorry.
so
So
is
you
your
got
red
shredded.
herring-
You got shredded
so
so
is your
badly
red
on Our
herring
Lady of
concerning-
Fatima. It
concerning
seems.
God's actions.
Okay,
So
we
what
got
would you do
Spawn killed on
concerning
Our Lady of
Abdullah?
Fatima. Sure. What's your objection to
Yeah.
homosexuality?
Are you serious?
You wanted to bring it
Yeah.
up, didn't you?
Yeah, but I mean, do you? I mean, I can
Yeah,
bring
go
the
for
argument.
it. Yeah, what's wrong with it?
Yeah, according to the article or the blog spot that Alexander Proust has, I'm sure you know Alexander Proust. He, I forgot the title of it, but let's start with this. Firstly, that many college students, I think, would accept this as well. That it is wrong to be racist, right? You and I would agree on that.
Yep.
And let's assume for the moment that homosexuality, bisexuality, and heterosexuality are on par. So that means that one is not morally superior to the other. And if we were to say so, then that might be wrong, according to this first assumption that we're gonna.
Wait, so
But-
you think it follows from the fact that it's wrong to be racist? That it's wait, what would follow from that? So I got okay. It's
So
wrong to be
I'm just making
racist.
these
Then
claims.
what?
Yeah, I'm just making these claims, and so they're a little bit scattered. But I think that we don't have to have everything in syllogisms because they're.
I'm just trying to
yeah.
understand what follows from what.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at least you would agree that there are such things as soul rights, right?
As what?
Soul rights.
I can't hear the word that you're saying.
Soul rights. Soul rights.
Soul rights?
Soul rights. Like Socrates, but soul rights.
Soul? I have no
I think
idea what
it's
you're
spelled-
talking about.
Yeah. So soul rights are basically where it's not in-
Sorieties. You're trying to say sorieties.
Yeah. My fault. Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
agree
is,
that there
right?
are like sorieties paradoxes. Yeah.
So that wait, what?
I agree that there are like Sorites paradoxes.
No,
That's what it's called.
I'm using it in the context of logic. Do you know what it is?
Yeah. That there's like things that are fuzzy, that they have like fuzzy boundary conditions.
What do you mean by things?
Like for example, I can give you like some examples if you'd like.
Sure.
Like for example, you'd say like a heap. It's not clear when like a heap of straw turns into like not a
Wait.
heap.
Wait, Ian. Come on, Ian. Be humble, please, man. You're not serious. I know there's a paradox, but in the context of logic, of whether we have to always make arguments with strict premise to premise, syllogism to syllogism, do you know what that context would be, other than the paradox that you're probably bringing up? Please.
Or
Ian,
wait,
be
are you
humble,
not
man.
talking about Sorites paradox? I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's not a paradox. It's basically.
You don't think that
we're in-
Sorites paradox is a paradox?
I mean, if you search it up online, I'm sure you'll be able to see. If you search it up, instead of the paradox itself, search up logic. Sorites logic. And by the way, if
Okay.
I'm not sure if I'm even saying it correctly.
So-
But it's basically where there are certain kinds of argumentations where not everything is premise to premise, especially
Wait,
if I'm
so,
driving. By the way,
yo, let me
distracted. You would not want me to get into car crash.
So when I look up
Please
Sorites,
be
the
humble,
first
man.
thing
You
that
don't know
comes
what
up
it is,
is
you said you don't know
Sorites
what it is.
paradox. Sorites paradox. I'm not sure what
Hold
you're
on.
talking about. I have no idea what it is. But
Yeah,
to be
I'm about
clear,
to
like
pause
the
right now.
standard usage of Sorites refers to the paradox,
What do you mean by standard?
the one that's going to be used with the most frequency, like statistically speaking.
I mean, I wouldn't be sure about that because people might be talking more about logic than those paradoxes. I
Well,
don't know.
wait, let's
But-
Google it then. Google Trends.
Sure.
Okay, let's do
That's actually a thing, huh? Interesting.
like fact checking, like so we got Sorites paradox, and then what are you saying, like Sorites logic?
Yes, in logic, as it is used in logic. I
Okay,
think it's
let's-
also called enthymemes or something. I think it's also called enthymeme.
okay,
It's
so
been a while since I read it.
yeah, this is gonna be pretty devastating. So you know, yours like Sorites logic doesn't even get off the ground, but Sorites paradox fucking clears.
Okay.
So
so
it is like the standard
You're
usage,
taking Google Trends.
pretty obviously, but whatever. Okay,
Awesome.
so Sorites
Awesome, man.
logic.
Congrats on the standard usage of a word. Yeah. So do you know what it is?
I have no
I'm
idea what
about to
you're
pause
talking
right now.
about.
You can search up also enthymemes.
Oh, enthymeme. Isn't that just? I thought that was like I thought that had to do with like parallelism. Oh, sure. So you mean like you can exclude a premise, but the thing about enthymemes is that the premise is going to be implicit. Like when somebody says this is true because of this, there's like this. There's going to be like an implicit premise that if the second thing is true, then the first thing is true.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so that's why I think that my claims earlier concerning the article from Alexander Proust and his claims as well.
Wait, I just want to know what the
obviously
argument
they're
is.
not going to be premise to premise. Yeah, I got you. One
we can
moment.
we can formalize it. I'm looking at his blog.
To be honest, bro, I don't think that we can. It's easier to summarize. I mean, do you want to put it up on the screen?
Which one? Like the
I sort of
blog?
have it remember. Yeah, up to you though. I sort of have it remember, but I
Okay.
think that like to bring forth all the kinds of intricacies that of course as usual with Oppie with Proust, it's gonna get very technical. I don't think there's an easy way to summarize it.
Okay.
But if you want, wait, this guy
let's
said
go
his
for
guess using ChatGPT. Son, I just parked.
Okay, so yeah, we can like read through the article. An interesting question is whether a prohibition on discrimination with respect to a determinable P by itself prohibits discrimination against groups with respect to patterns or distributions of P in groups. Against groups with respect to patterns, distributions in groups. Okay,
I
whether a
don't think you're on the right
prohibition of a specific no, I do have the right one. It's because it lays out like the sort of thing that you're talking about.
Wait, prohibition. Wait, hold on.
Effective patterns of distribution. Oh, okay, sure. So,
No. I don't think he even mentions patterns of distribution. Hold on.
okay, well, then you simply haven't read the article.
That's not the one that I'm talking about, bro.
The one that talks about a prohibition on racial discrimination.
No.
That's not what you said earlier. You didn't say that earlier.
It is related to racism. Wait,
yeah.
I'm not sure why you're doing that, by the way. But
my bad.
it is related to racism, but it's going to conclude that homosexuality is wrong.
Yeah.
So that's not the article that I'm talking about here. I can search it up. Before we search, I'll give you the source, but let me show you the however you pronounce it. Sorites or Sorite.
Sorieties. Okay. This is pretty devastating for your view, but yeah, he has 3 articles labeled same-sex
So,
marriage. He has
just to be
individual
clear,
and
man.
group discrimination.
Yeah, man. Let me teach you, bro. Let me teach you. Here, I sent you the article there concerning sororities.
Okay.
So however
If
that
you're
thing
just
is
saying that
pronounced
there's
there,
like enthymemes, I agree that you can present it as like an enthymeme, but there's going to be premises that are implicit to it. Also, I mean, those are only for like rhetorical purposes. If what you're interested in is like rigor, then you should be able to give it in like a way that isn't. Oop, one sec. Okay.
I don't think that it's entirely rhetorical, but
Enthymeme. Do
So
you know?
Peter-
Do you know? I mean, if you trace back like enthymemes, you're going to arrive at like the ancient Greeks, like Plato, or not Plato, Aristotle in his Rhetoric talks extensively about enthymemes.
yeah, I don't think that that's how we use it in logic, though. It's not rhetorical when you use enthymemes in logic.
You use logic in rhetoric. It's called logos.
I would say that's more philosophy. That's not strictly logic.
You think wait, you think what is more? Huh? Wait,
Yeah, I
can you
think
say
that's
that as
more
like a
broad-
complete sentence? You think what
think
is
that's
more
more-
philosophy?
I think that's more broadly philosophy rather than specifically logic.
Enthymeme?
No, logos. Right. So you're saying that, or somewhat more
Logos
specifically,
in this sense is referring to like the
rhetoric.
logical
Rhetoric in-
appeal.
rhetoric in logos, right? That's what you're saying. I'm saying that that's more broadly philosophical. I think that this is pretty pedantic, but
Well, I
anyway, so
agree, which
with-
is why I don't
yeah.
know why you would be on this, but regardless, I'm just trying to find it. So unfortunately, I think the blog post that I found earlier is indeed the correct one. Because I'm looking through all the ones that are labeled as
How are you gonna say, dude? How
Because
are
he
you
only
gonna
has
say it's the
4 of
correct one
them.
when I'm the one who's proposing the argument that Proust said?
Yeah.
I know the article. Just give me one moment, bro.
Okay. If
And
it's
it's like,
if it's the article that I was talking about, the one titled "Individual and Group Discrimination," everyone's gonna clown on you. To be clear.
you're so cooked, dude. I just sent it.
Yeah, go for it.
You're so
Which one is
cooked,
it?
man. I just sent it. You're
The one
so
on his
cooked.
blog? Is this gonna be on his
How
blog?
are you gonna say that
One
you have
sexual
the correct one if
orientation?
I'm the one who's proposing the argument? What is wrong with you, bro? I'm the one who's proposing the argument. I read the article from Proust. Why are you the one who's saying that you have the correct one?
Oh, okay,
What are
that's
you
why. It's
doing?
because he classified it badly. He didn't classify this one under the ones that were titled same-sex marriage.
Is this about homosexuality or no?
It is, yeah.
By the way, I never said same-sex marriage. You're the one who brought it up.
This one talks about same-sex relationships. I don't know if you're aware
Yeah,
of that.
but relationships are not necessarily marriages, right?
Okay.
And I never said marriage.
Well, I agree with
I
that.
used the word homosexual,
But
by the way.
I guess I think that you would just expect to find it here. So that's fine. I mean, if Priest doesn't categorize it there. But sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
awesome,
So
man.
same-sex and opposite-sex relationships are on par. Heterosexuality, homosexuality, and bisexuality are on par, and persons of one orientation do not have reason to try to change to another. Okay. I don't know what exactly on par here means. I think it's some combination of morally on par, should be treated equal by society, equally valuable, equally normal. I will argue that 1 and 2 are intentions. Suppose that George is sexually attracted to people, male or female, of a particular ethnicity, and not at all towards anybody, male or female, of any other ethnicity. We would think this weird and maybe just a little perverted, even if we accepted 1 and 2. After all, why should George limit his romantic options to members of a particular ethnicity? Indeed, his attitude would border on racism. Granted, if George hadn't done anything to choose his pattern of sexual attraction and couldn't overcome it, we would not morally criticize George for his limiting his sexual interest to that ethnicity, but there would still seem to be something wrong with George. I'm not talking here of a mere preference. Perhaps there is nothing wrong. So, okay, first of all, in this section, I'm going to say that this is not analogous because I do think that there's going to be something that's like arbitrary to this and something that's like necessarily socially contingent. Whereas with being gay, there's something that's like definitely biologically derived. So this is just not analogous.
Awesome. So, do you know what Proust's reply would probably be,
Yeah,
given
go
that
for it.
article that you probably should continue reading?
Yeah, we can read the rest of it. I'm not talking here about mere
Yeah,
preference. Perhaps there's nothing wrong with an
exactly.
Elbonian preferring Elbonians, but to be unable to be
That's an
sexually interested
imaginary
in
ethnicity,
anybody
by the way.
but Elbonians is limiting, unfortunate, and quite right. And it is particularly odd that one isn't Elbonian oneself. It is certainly suboptimal given that sexual relationships with Elbonians are on par with sexual relationships with non-Elbonians. And it is not a good idea to have artificial limits in the difficult task of finding a suitable romantic partner. Furthermore, if George were not in a relationship and there were a hard pill that had no side effects and could remove no limitation, it would be reasonable for George to take the pill, at least assuming one, but a heterosexual or homosexual is in a similar state of George. Oh yeah, by the way, this argument cuts against heterosexuality too.
Well, well, basically, it's supposed to be a dilemma.
Bro,
So,
nervous
yes,
laughter
it
to
would be
avoid that
against
fact.
it. No. It would be against heterosexuality if you think that the morally superior attraction would be one that being homosexuality or bisexuality. It's supposed to be a kind of dilemma. Yes, that's exactly the point, genius.
So, okay, wait, but then which one would you be rejecting?
I would obviously be. I would agree with Proust there towards the end of the article. By the way, I don't think that you realize
It's
how
not clear to
Proust
me how
just
this
answered.
doesn't just like appeal, like this
I
kind
don't
of
think it's
bites
clear, probably
directly back
because it
into
isn't a very interesting
heterosexuality.
argument.
Genius, you probably should have thought about this a bit more. Like, how do you get
I have
around
actually.
the?
So
Okay, let's say that.
wait, so
What would be the
do you see how
disanalogy
Proust could
between
have possibly answered your
heterosexuality?
objection
Wait,
earlier?
Sorry, do you want to go ahead and answer the question?
Real quick, wait.
He's not going to answer the
Can we
question.
address how
Add that
you
to the
brought
list
up
of
the initial
questions that
objection and how
he isn't
Proust
going to
possibly
answer.
answered your? Wait.
Wait, to which one?
So you brought up an objection earlier. You
Which
brought
one?
up an objection earlier, right? The initial one, I think when I was initially parking,
Were you
where
even
it
listening?
was concerning, there being a difference between that which is, social in society. I'm not sure what you meant by that, by the way. Like, were you saying that
Yeah,
racism
you
is,
don't know what the
such
objection
that?
was, but you definitely know that Proust responded to the objection. Solid
No, I
joint
do
commitment
remember.
of
I do
things.
remember. Wait, I do remember your objection, of course. That's why I was using your word. You said something which is social.
Yeah,
So,
but then you're saying that you don't
do you
understand
see
the
how Proust could have
objection.
possibly? I never said I don't understand your objection. I just don't know
Didn't
what
you
you
just say
mean
that?
clearly by socially.
Yeah, that it's going
So
to be.
I understood
So
your objection, but I don't know what you mean exactly by
yeah,
socially.
the specific attraction relies on the existence of specific social categories, like specifically racial social categories. These are contingent to specific times. There are going to be time periods that you can traverse wherein these like racial categories just won't exist, either because like lack of exposure or lack of probably like lack of exposure, like lack of like the construction of it in the first place. So
Okay. I hear you. So you're saying that it was a developed thing over time because over time we were more exposed to other races or other ethnicities. That's what I'm hearing from your part. Now,
yeah, that in this circumstance that
would-
this would still be like socially contingent.
okay, and it's socially contingent, and yet it does relate to morality such that it would be wrong to be a racist, right?
Yeah, I agree that it would be wrong to be a
Awesome. So
racist, but that's the difference
that's my
between
main point.
racism and homosexuality, is that racism is a choice and homosexuality is not.
I'm not exactly sure what you mean by it being a choice, because according to your claim
That
that,
you
you know,
can't escape
wait. So
attractions, that there's like
so
nothing. Oh, wait,
wait, so
oh, it was just rhetoric. Okay, it was
awesome.
rhetorical. Sorry, my bad. I thought you were asking for clarification. That's typically what
Yeah,
questions
yeah,
do.
you cut me off. There was no asking of you to clarify anything if I was continuing my reply
Okay.
to your objection. So
Yeah,
as I
please
was
continue telling
continuing,
us
right?
how you don't know
Awesome.
what the word
So
choice means.
so yeah, so if you are saying that the person who is racist by choice, are you saying that there are no social factors such that the guy is now racist?
No, there are social factors. That's my point. That's the disanalogy between, being gay and being a racist, is that being a
Okay,
racist is a choice. Being gay is
so he was
not.
nurtured to be a racist, and yet somehow he chose to
Sorry,
have
that's
been
not
nurtured to be
strictly what
racist,
I
or what are you
said.
saying? Awesome. So
So I'm not
if
saying strictly that he was nurtured to, just that it's going to come
wait,
from
so
social
if
factors. There are
does
contingent
society
social
nurture you?
factors necessarily that determine who's going to be racist and who's not. It maps on to specifically how you see yourself as an in-group and an out-group.
Okay, so does society nurture you?
Yeah, society does nurture you
Awesome.
on
So that means
occasion.
that the person, the racist would have been nurtured, right?
Yeah, I agree. This is my
Awesome.
exact point. Like, you're running
So
into the point. Yes.
if he were nurtured by his society, right? Let's say he were in this very close-minded group, such that he had always been told by those around him that he should avoid Albanians, for example, and Albanians are always bad, and now he just believes it. With him having believed that, right? Would you say that that's a pertinent choice to
Yeah,
what
he
you're
can
saying, such that
choose
he
to
is
not
now
do
morally
that.
culpable?
Yeah, absolutely. You can choose not to.
But he was nurtured in such a
Also, by
manner.
the way, if you run this argument, you're going to come away saying that people who did slavery in olden days, like people who owned slaves like 2,000 years ago, even, that they had no moral responsibility insofar as they were socialized into this. You for sure don't want to say that.
Well, I'm not saying that there's no moral responsibility. I'm saying
Yeah.
that there is. But
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
painting it. You're painting this racist as merely this racism as merely something which is by choice.
It's
That's how
socially
I'm seeing it.
contingent. That this sort of attitude couldn't exist if racial categories didn't exist.
Okay, awesome. So I think that the main thing though is that racism is bad, and that's
I
it. That's
agree.
all.
Yeah, I agree. Racism is bad.
That's all that is
Dan,
needed
this
for.
argument really fell apart for you. I'm sorry,
That's
man.
all
You
that.
probably should have
That's all that
stuck to
proof's
Our Lady
needed.
of Fatima.
That's all that proof's needed to show why homosexuality is wrong. Do you?
Nope.
So
Doesn't follow.
yeah.
I give you a disanalogy. And wait, I want you to
No, I
explain.
don't think that is a dis. No, I don't
You don't think
that
it's a
is disanalogy.
disanalogy? You don't think that whether
I
or
don't.
not it's like you're like biologically like disposed towards it? You don't think that
So
that's like morally relevant?
so
Also, so what's specifically the wrong maker in being gay?
so I don't think that this is pertinent, because I'm now going to make a response to your objection.
I just want to know what the
just
wrong
now.
maker is.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I think
Okay.
that I'm gonna make a response, right? So concerning your response, that in the case of homosexuality, it would be, by nature, something that you're born with. I'll even grant you, for the sake of argument, that were the case. The problem is Proust is still saying that, I think his name was George, right? I think that was the example. That if George were unable to be sexually attracted to other races than Albanians or other ethnicities, then there's something suboptimal. What were his words? Suboptimal, wrong, unideal, I guess. Those are my words. But basically, there's something strange about it, at least, such that it would seem as if George is now racist, right? Even if he were born in such a way, there's something still wrong with it. And maybe
I don't think
he
that's
is
strictly true.
so.
So for example,
maybe,
let's say somebody was like born in like, okay, let's say that I don't know, let's say you're like a white person, and then because of like some family circumstances, you're born into like an African country, let's say like Ethiopia, and then you grow up and you feel attraction only towards like Ethiopian women, and then you like, even when you like leave the country, you feel attraction only towards
Dude,
like black women. I don't
this
think
is
I'd
why
say
you-
that person's like racist.
Yeah, this is why you should read the article, because you literally just read it, by the way. It's not about preference.
Wait,
He
sorry.
literally says it's not about preference. It's look up
Do you
the
want to
keyword
engage with
unable.
that?
Look up the keyword unable in that same blog spot. he says that the guy's unable to be sexually attracted to other ethnicities or races. That's
Yeah.
exactly why we say that whatever is happening here biologically or mentally speaking with George, I think that was his name once again.
This just doesn't engage
There's
with my
something
objection
wrong.
at all.
It did engage
Can you
with your
summarize
objection
back what
because
my objection was and how you think that responded to it?
yeah. So I'm saying that in this example that we have concerning George himself is unable. It's not just that he prefers Albanians.
That's not.
as
Wait,
you're
sorry. Is
saying.
that
So
my
the person who is
objection?
Ethiopian.
You
one
weren't
moment.
even
So
listening. Holy
the
shit, you
person
weren't
who is
listening.
Ethiopian.
That's why you're not
So
going to
the
be able to
person who
say
is
anything.
Ethiopian.
Okay, yeah, go
So
for
the
it.
person.
Yeah,
So I'm
how
gonna
does this
show you,
engage with
right?
that?
So the person who is Ethiopian,
Yeah,
who is sexually attracted
they're
to
not Ethiopian.
Ethiopians.
They're white.
Did you say the white person in Ethiopia?
They were born and
Or
raised in Ethiopia. They
oh
only
yeah,
feel
my bad.
attraction towards
Awesome.
black people. Even if they go elsewhere, they only feel attraction towards black people. I don't think I'd say that that person is racist.
I would say that that's a kind of preference. No.
Maybe, but like certainly it's like a preference that they're
What do you
socialized
mean maybe?
into.
It
Yeah, we
basically
could say that it's
maybe
like if you're gonna include
apparently.
things like the things that they're like socialized into, then yeah, I'd
So
agree
that
that
would
in
be a
that
kind of preference,
circumstance,
and that's
yeah.
exactly
But
why
wait,
Bruce
but
already
Bruce's
answered your objection.
argument turns on the presupposition that that would be like strictly racist. I don't grant that.
If you are no. So it would seem. So I'm not saying that. So actually, Bruce even what were his exact words? But basically,
Oh
it's to the
no.
effect that this guy is not a racist by his his own claim, but it's such that there's something
I don't even
wrong
think
with
he's
him
like blame.
on
I don't
whatever
even think that
level.
he's done anything wrong, frankly.
I mean, he doesn't have to do anything wrong. There's just something wrong with him.
Why? What's the wrong maker there?
To not be able to be attracted to other races, even to some kind of degree.
Do you think it's
to
a wrong
whatever.
maker for you to not be able to be attracted to other genders?
Hello? Did I freeze out?
Is it a
Hello?
wrong maker for you to not be able to be attracted to other genders or to like the same gender?
Hello, can you hear me, by the way? I think I cut off. Hello?
Do you want to answer the question? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you
I
think
think I
it's
cut off,
a?
but like,
Do you think there's something wrong with you? The fact that you can't feel attraction towards other men?
me personally,
Yeah.
I would say that there's nothing wrong with it. But that's exactly why it's the
Sure.
syllogism right there.
Sure. So
So
wait. So then
so
you.
so
So
this
then you
so
agree
the
that
dilemma.
there isn't anything intrinsically wrong with like not being attracted to certain groups of people.
That's exactly look. This is what Proust is trying to bring forth. That
I agree that
if you're
there's.
willing to say so, if
I
you're
don't think
willing
that
to
there's
say,
something intrinsically wrong
dude,
with
let me answer
being
you.
not attracted to certain groups of people. I think it depends on the circumstance.
Exact point.
This is brutal. This is so sad.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you keep on cutting out.
Yeah, no, something's going on with the Wi-Fi. I can't even get my computer starting. I just got in the house. So, hello, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. But Proust's point there is Proust's point there is that heterosexuality is the only one that is, I guess you can say, morally excellent, or to whatever standard you want to put forth. So that's why the
Okay.
initial premise that heterosexuality, homosexuality, and bisexuality are on par. That's why he would actually disagree with that first assumption that we put forth.
Okay, wait. So, what's the feature that's true of homosexuality and bisexuality that, if true of heterosexuality, would make it wrong or like weird?
If true of
Yeah,
of
what's the
heterosexuality,
trait that's true of homosexuality and bisexuality that, if true of heterosexuality, would make it wrong?
well, I don't think that it would be. I don't think that homosexuality having a kind of trait related to heterosexuality would somehow make it wrong. That doesn't
So
make any
wait, in
sense to me.
virtue of which trait, what is the wrong maker for homosexuality? Like, what's the feature of it that makes it wrong?
Based on the argument concerning George,
Can I just get like the name of the feature?
the name of the feature,
Yeah, like what grounds the
um,
wrongness of it? Like the
I
property,
don't think
maybe.
that. Yeah, I don't think that it's a specific feature. So
Do you think that everything that's wrong is a wrong maker?
has a wrong maker, sure, but I don't think that it's a feature
You know,
of
what do you think? What's your account of wrong
homosexuality.
making? I take that to be something like that which
Yeah,
the
my
wrongness
account,
of something
my
is
account,
grounded
yeah,
in.
yeah, my account of what makes homosexuality
That's not
or
what I
more specifically
asked.
homosexual relationships.
That's not what I
What do
asked.
you mean?
I'm asking you
What do you
for
mean?
your account of wrong makers in general, because you're rejecting that a wrong maker is a specific feature of a thing that is wrong.
I don't think that's a feature. That's right. I
Yeah,
don't
but
think
what
that's a
is your
feature
account
or a
then
trait.
of wrong
I think that is more
makers?
specifically, yeah, the argument from George.
Your account, so everything that is ever wrong is wrong because of the argument from George?
Wait,
That's your
who
account
said
of a
everything?
wrong
What are you
maker?
talking about?
I'm asking you for your
No,
account of a
no,
wrong maker. What's your account of wrong
account
making?
you're asking for the account of the wrong maker of homosexuality.
I'm
That's
asking you
basically
for
it.
your account of
I'm not
wrong
sure
making
why
in
you're
general. I've been asking you for
why are you
that for like
saying
the last
everything?
like
What are you
3
talking about, bro?
questions. What
What
is
are you
your
talking about
account of wrong
everything?
making? What do you think it means to say that something is a wrong maker?
In this specific case, I would
I'm
think
not
that
asking
it's
about this
the
specific
example
case.
of
I'm asking
George.
about your general
I'm
account of wrong
interested.
makers.
Yeah, I'm
Because you
interested
deny
in
that a specific
I'm interested
feature
in
is
the
a
specific
wrong
example.
maker.
I'm not really interested in your
You're
armchair
okay.
philosophy.
Okay, so he got like genuinely spawn killed on this one too because he's a larper. That's why.
What?
Yeah, this one went bad for you. You can't. You said that you reject that it has a specific wrong maker. You reject that a wrong maker needs to
In
be a
its trait,
specific
yeah, sure.
feature,
Yeah, in
but
its
you won't
traits.
tell me what
Awesome.
you think a wrong maker is.
Good job on your uncharitable interpretation and
That is
also
literally
your
what you said. It's all
and
on
also your straw
recording.
man
It's
of the
all live
argumentation.
streamed to YouTube.
Yeah, is your wording right there. You've misheard
Okay,
me multiple
everyone
times.
heard
It's
it.
okay.
Do you want? Wait, do you want
It's
me to
okay.
replay it?
Sure, you can replay it.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm gonna show you how I actually said that it's not a specific trait or feature.
No, I know. I grant that
I'm
you
not
said
saying
that,
that.
but I'm asking, what is
So
your
that's
account
what
of
I've been
wrong
saying. That's what
making?
I've been saying. I
Okay.
never showed you
What?
anywhere that it's about everything or whatever your wording is apparently.
That's what I'm
Because
asking
you're
you.
assuming
What
that
is
it's
your
about
account of
everything.
wrong making? Do you have one?
I don't have like a very specific one with all kinds of exhaustive criteria. No,
Name one
and
criteria.
I would imagine that
Wait,
you would
wait.
not
To be
have
clear,
one.
wait. You don't have a single criteria, and I gave you my definition earlier. You'd remember it if you were paying attention.
Wait, somehow
name
I
name
said
a
that I don't
single
have the
feature then.
exhaustive list of all the criteria. It leads into you don't have a single. Dude, you are so.
Yeah. So I can remind you of the
Dude, you
definition of
cannot
what
be
a wrong
serious,
maker
man.
is. Oh, okay. He still wants
So
to grandstand. That's
I
fine.
don't
We can
have
go
an
back to rhetoric.
exhaustive list
I didn't
because
ask you
I
for an
don't have a
exhaustive
single.
list.
Awesome.
Name one single one.
Awesome, man.
One
You're
single
awesome,
feature of a
man.
wrong maker. What's one single feature of a wrong maker?
Hey, man. Maybe you're helping me realize
Brutal.
that
Fucking brutal.
the Muslims are very similar to the
Philosopher
atheists after all.
larper.
I thought that
This
many
guy's a
atheists were pretty
philosopher
smart, man.
larper.
I thought that the atheists were pretty smart usually. Are you serious?
You
man?
are a
I don't have an
larper.
exhaustive list equals I don't have a single
I didn't
one.
ask you for
Awesome.
an exhaustive list.
Awesome. But my claim was that I don't have an exhaustive list.
I
And then
didn't
your
ask
response
you for
was,
that.
oh, so then you don't have a single criterion.
No, that's not what I
Genius.
said.
Go
You
back to clip,
terminally
man. Go back
cannot
to clip.
track what actually
Go
happened.
back
I
to
asked
clip.
you, what's your account
Go
of
back to
wrong
clip
making?
then.
And you said,
You said
well, I
that's
don't
not
have
what
an
you said. Can you
exhaustive
roll back the
list.
clip?
And then I said, you
Can you
probably
roll back
don't
the
have
clip
any
then?
of them. Name a
So
single
why are you
one.
running this time around? Why are you running this time?
Oh shit, he's like drowning. That's
Can
why
you roll
you
back
know
the
that
clip
he's
then?
drowning because he goes from point to point to point. Like it's not even a mott and a Bailey.
Wait,
It's
who
like
is
a
the
mott
one
and a
who went
mott. Like
point
he
to
just
point to
keeps
point?
on bouncing
Who
between
is the
dog
one
shit
who
point to dog
originally had
shit
a red
point.
herring?
He literally can't engage with it at all. That's why he keeps getting blown the fuck out.
Who is
I
the
just wanted to
one
know, what's your
who
account of
was
wrong making? Go
appealing
ahead.
to the red herring?
Who's appealing to the red
You, yes.
herring? You think that a question
Initially. Was
is
it
an
you?
account?
Was it you originally?
Initially, is
So can you
it
deal with Bruce's
you?
argument?
Can you deal with Bruce's argument?
Mm-hmm.
That's your account of wrong making? Who's appealing to the red herring initially? Is it you? Can you deal with Bruce's argument? That's your account of wrong making? You think something is wrong in virtue of who's appealing to the red herring? Initially, it
I
is
think it's
you.
pretty sad,
Can you
bro.
deal with Bruce's
It's pretty
argument?
sad.
You think that's like an account of wrong making?
First, you can't deal with Ali Fatima, the miracle of hundreds or thousands of witnesses, people saying
Oh
that they
no,
stare
he's
at
like short-circuiting
painlessly.
back to the beginning.
Then
Wait,
you
hey,
cannot deal with
audience, if you want
Bruce.
like a good indicator
You cannot
that
deal with
somebody
Bruce.
got blown the fuck
Bruce
out,
is
the
a
fact
chess.
that they can't stick on one point, that they have to
Predicted
keep on
your
pivoting
moves
from point to point
1,000
to
ahead
point
of you.
means that they probably
1,000
got
steps ahead.
victimized on every single one of them. That's why this guy, instead of being able to
Man,
grandstand on this one thing,
Bruce
he
is
doesn't even feel confident enough to
thousands of
grandstand on
steps
any of these
ahead of
things, which
you.
is why he feels the need to try to grandstand on every part of the debate to see maybe there'll be like a place that he'll be able to win. That's why he's returning to the top of the dialogue tree after getting decimated on every single part of it.
Okay. So with that white person living in Ethiopia who is
Brutal.
unable to who is
Brutal.
unable, I just think that you're honestly not even willing to engage your own argument. How about I address your argument directly, man? So
Please.
with that person, would you say that there's something wrong if they are unable, not just that they have a preference for Ethiopia,
No, I
but that
wouldn't.
they're unable to be sexually attracted in any degree to any other ethnicity?
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I think that's where I think that's absurd.
Okay, I just don't think so.
Yeah,
I think that if
there's
oh wait
clearly
to be
something wrong.
clear, this is like the scenario that this guy takes as like an absurdity to the degree that he doesn't even need to offer an argument. That if somebody was raised in if
I do
there's like
think
a
so.
white
I do
person
think
who
that
was
there's
raised in
intuitive to me.
Ethiopia who is only
Yeah,
attracted
this
to black women, this guy thinks that like this person has done something
so
wrong,
it's
and
not
to think
just
otherwise
that
means that
where
you've committed yourself
it's
to an
not just that he has
absurdity.
a preference.
This is
It's
well,
not
I
just
didn't
that he has a
say I don't think I
preference to black
said
people.
I don't think I said that. That's not really what I
But
said.
you agree that
Wait, sorry, wait, did I
that
say
would be
that
a
or did you
preference,
insert
right?
those words into my mouth?
You did way earlier, yeah. You did say that
Wait,
it
what
was
did I
a
say?
kind of preference, yes. You did say that it was a kind of preference way earlier.
Yeah, in the sense that
Yeah.
it's like
And
socialized into them, but not the sort
awesome.
of
So
wait.
is it
Just
a
because it's a
preference,
preference
genius?
doesn't
Is it a
mean that
preference?
they can like choose
Genius,
otherwise.
is it a preference, yes or no?
Yeah, it's a preference
Your
if
own
what you mean
words.
by that is like a
Awesome. So why
desire.
are you
Oh no,
You're
he's doing
not
his like nervous
serious, bro.
laughter. Maybe if you nervous laugh
I'm not
more,
nervous.
nobody
It's
will
just
remember the
I'm
fact
laughing
that
at
you
your
got completely
ridiculousness,
blown out
bro.
on like every single point. That's sad.
Seeing some of your debates with KB, I thought that you would be better. What is this?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
All right,
you're
so
getting
how about I
like
address
dissected, frankly.
your
It's pretty
argument just
brutal.
directly then?
Wait, sorry,
Right?
wait. Is
So
there you
so
want
with that
another
person
pivot?
specifically,
Gosh. Yeah. Where would you
your
like to pivot
argument,
to
genius. I
next,
just
Ken?
said, how about I adjust your
Whoa, calm
argument
down there.
directly?
No need to
And
get
somehow
upset.
it's a
Just calm
pivot.
down. Wait, just take a deep breath. It's gonna be okay. No need to yell.
Hey, all is good, bro. All is good.
Are
So
you
just to
sure?
be clear,
Okay.
with that person who is
What's the wrong maker
unable to be
there?
attracted to the
Yeah, what's
other
the wrong
people.
maker?
Wait, so you're not able to
You're
deal with the
short circuiting.
argument
What's the
then?
wrong maker?
You're not able to deal with the argument?
I dealt with the argument. Now I'm asking you, what's the wrong maker?
You deal with the argument?
Yeah, I dealt with the argument. Now I'm asking, what's the wrong
Awesome.
maker?
Hey man, looks like English is not just my second language, it's also yours, huh?
Oh,
I
you think that
deal
this
with
is
the
a good
argument.
look after like misspeaking and mishearing over and over again? You think
I mean,
after
you were
like
the
you've
one who
misheard
was
every
trying to
single
mock me, trying to
question
say,
like 4 or 5 times, you think that that's going to be a good look?
dude, you were the one who was trying to mock me and saying, of course, I
Okay.
was
I
driving.
mean,
What
at least
do you
I can
expect?
think through my sentences quickly enough.
I
Also,
don't
to
think
be
that you
clear,
think
before
through
that,
it
you were
quickly enough
mocking me
because you
for
don't
your
even
own
understand
lag.
the
You thought that there
dialectic.
was a delay, but you weren't able to actually track it. What do you think a dialectic is?
There was a delay. Do you know why? Because I was not even
No kidding, dude. No kidding.
I was not
That's
able
funny.
to connect to the
Sure.
computer.
Yeah, what do you think a dialectic is?
Can you stop running? Can you stop
Brutal.
running?
Yeah, you're a
Can you
philosopher.
stop
You
running?
use lots of words that you don't actually know, and now you're like short
Uh,
circuiting.
so can you stop running? So
Are you short circuiting or
concerning your argument
yeah?
about
I just want to know what the
white
wrong
person
maker
in
is.
Ethiopia, I would say that the person in Ethiopia does not just have a mere preference towards Ethiopians, but that person is
Wait,
unable
how do you
to be
define a
sexually attracted to
preference?
other
Wait, sorry,
ethnicities.
wait. How do you define a
And so
preference?
for me, that would be a clear
Wait, I'm
example
so
of
sorry.
something
Wait,
being
I'm so
wrong with the
sorry.
person.
Wait, I'm so sorry. How do
Even
you
if they
define
are
a
born
wait?
in
Sorry,
such a manner,
wait,
I
sorry,
don't think
wait,
that
sorry,
it
wait. Hey, sorry, wait,
relates to
wait. I'm so
whether
sorry.
this
Wait,
person
sorry,
is
wait, sorry. How do you define a
whether
preference?
whether
I
it's
just want like a quick
justifiable or not. I
clarification.
would say that it is definitely wrong. So I'm not even saying that there's something morally culpable for
Okay,
the
so you
person.
define a preference
All
as
I'm
you're
saying is that
not
there's something
saying
wrong in that
there's
case.
something wrong in
And I
that
do think
case. You think
that
that's the
is an
definition of a
essential part of
preference? You're not
Bruce's
saying there's
argument.
something wrong in the
So
case? You think
that
that's the
means that
definition of a
you would
preference?
have to deal with that.
Okay, he's
If
yapping.
you just disagree with it, then
Brutal.
there's not much to be
Holy
said
shit,
concerning
dude.
that.
He's trying to filibust. That's so sad. How do you define preference?
Yeah, I've been trying to pay attention to what you're saying because I'm trying to be charitable, but
Okay.
apparently that's not working because you're just constantly cutting me off. So that's okay.
Okay.
I have a way of also of
Do you want to
continuously
go ahead and
talking
answer the
without
question, or do you want to
caring
dodge that one
for
too?
distracting me and trying to cut me off. That's
Do you
okay.
want to go
So
ahead and
so can you deal with
answer or
Bruce's
engage with
argument
it?
then? Can you deal
Yeah.
with
How do you
Bruce's
define a
argument?
preference? Is the question.
You were using the word. I'm okay with
Do you want to go ahead and tell me how you define a
So
preference?
you
Because
were
you asked
bringing
first, and I
forth.
think that there might be equivocation going on here. Is there a
What did
reason
I
why you're
ask?
like
What did I
terrified to
ask?
answer the question?
What did I ask?
Ask when? Ask just now? You didn't ask anything just now. You yapped.
You said that you just asked.
You asked that like multiple times ago, like whether or not it's a preference. So I'm getting clarification. When you're asking if it's a preference, what are you asking? Are you asking if it's something that you can choose otherwise, or are you just asking if it's like something that's in line with your desires? Because I take preference to be something that's in line with your desires, but I think that there are some preferences that you nevertheless can't choose.
Yeah. Can you give an example of preferences that you cannot choose?
Like being attracted to men.
Okay, so I think that would be like a broader understanding of preference. I think that I'm okay with that. So
Yeah.
so we're in agreement that it would be a preference, which, by the way, you initially had a problem with. But yeah, you
So what's
conceded.
the
Congrats.
wrong maker in the
So it is a preference, yeah.
circumstance of the Ethiopia?
So congrats, you conceded that it is a kind of preference. Yeah.
That's always been my position. I don't know if you're aware of that.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
No, you were trying
That's
to
what I said
disagree
initially, that
earlier,
it's a type
bro.
of preference. That is what I said.
Yeah, you admitted it afterwards, yeah.
He's like freaking out.
When
He's
when
excited
I
because he
pressed you
thinks
on
that
it,
he's
I
doing like
asked
maybe
you if
okay,
it were
but
a kind of
unfortunately it's
preference,
just going to show in the
and you said
replay
yeah.
that I
But
said that it is a
initially,
type of preference.
you were trying to disagree with it. It's okay.
No, I was
So
saying that
just
it
to
is
be
a
clear,
type of
right?
preference. If by
It being
preference
a
you
kind
mean
of
something
preference
like
is very
is
different than
within
this person
line with your
being
desires.
unable to be attracted to another ethnicity, or in the case of homosexuality, right? The person who is homosexual is unable to be sexually attracted to,
Sure.
their opposite.
Okay.
And likewise with the heterosexual is unable to be sexually attracted to
Okay.
the
So
one who is in the same sex.
being
And
gay is
if you're
wrong
willing to say,
because gay
if you're willing to
people
say that they
are
are all on
unable
par, then you should take that pill to become bisexual.
to say,
Because
"So you're pro
bisexuality
bisexuality? Holy shit,
would
dude!"
not lead to. I'm
That's
showing
so
you.
funny. This is like the Giga
No,
concession, by
it's
the
the
way. You just
absurd
gave a defense of
conclusion.
bisexuality.
Do you
Holy
realize the
shit.
absurd
That's actually
conclusion here?
so funny.
It's a
That was
reductio,
like the
genius.
infinity blunder, dude.
Reductio.
That's so brutal. Listen, I
Reductio.
accept your concession on the gay
You
topic. It's time for me to go. I have to go to office hours. Garbage Man, thanks so much for super chat. Chat with Brandon hit an amazing argument. God's love. Okay, yeah, we already talked about that. Striped Ball. Have you heard of? Oh yeah, sorry, I read that one too. Pablo, thanks so much for super chat. Why Lady of Fatima is intentional action, and what monster girl do you prefer? The fuck? Oh, I thought this was like a mistranslation. It's because you want to say that God, via an act of intentional action, brought about Our Lady of Fatima miracle. I don't have any preference on monster girls. Christopher Sanford, thanks so much for the super chat. Is he driving in Egypt? Seems like he's in denial. That's funny. I like that. Aloe Emporium, thanks so much for the super chat. If God didn't want us to be gay, he'd call it the straight bull, not the Bible. I fucked that up. If God didn't want us to be gay, he'd call it the straight bull, not the Bible. Banger. Mr. Hammy, thanks so much for the super chat. Why was it important that God has free will? Because otherwise it's not important why God would give that to us. Okay. Fluff Skidoo, Luna, Poopman Jones, Slessy Baka, Amy, Aegis, Emily Coy, Jonathan, Lou, Ashley, Briel, Goatman, Darius, and Fallon. Thanks so much for the TikTok gifts. I appreciate all of you. Okay, I gotta go. I gotta head out. I love all of you. It's office hours. Oh, and I have a new video. I have a new video that's dropping right now. It's dropping right this second. Let me go drop the new video. Excellent. Excellent. It's titled, When the Atheist Knows Your Theology Better Than You. Let's get clear on this. Let's see how well you know your own doctrine. Do you think that God has potential, or is he pure act?
Is God a pure act, or does he have potential? Do you know what? I would say I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what the Catholic Church answer is. It's
Perfect.
that God is
because
pure
that's what I
act.
believe. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I accept that because I
Yep.
accept the Catholic Church to be the one true church. You
Yep.
know.
So he has no potential. But then if God's not creating and then he begins to create, then God would have the potential to create. So it can't be the case that God began to create. It violates doctrine. Hey, how's it going?
How's it?
That's pretty good. Also, Molly, I think we should probably clip this like last debate. Anyway, hey, I'm ending stream. See you all later. Go check it out. It's on my YouTube channel. Like, comment, subscribe. See you all later.